Week in the West to talk about wildfires and a campaign for California's governor ahead of Tuesday's recall election.
President Biden on Monday is stopping in Boise, Idaho to tour the National Interagency Fire Center, and then he plans to tour wildfire damage around Sacramento, California, before joining the state's governor Gavin Newsom in Long Beach for a rally. Newsom's facing a recall effort in part over his handling of the pandemic. White House spokeswoman Jen Psaki said last week the president's going to California because he remains popular there.
Certainly we don't go campaign in states where we aren't wanted, but hopefully this will be helpful to the efforts of the governor.
One of the most recent polls on the recall done by UC Berkeley and LA Times in early September found 60% of likely voters do not support recalling Governor Newsom. Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
Two French politicians kicked off their presidential campaigns seeking to become France's first female leader in next year's spring election. They are the far-right National Rally parties, Marine Le Pen, and Paris's socialist mayor, Anne Hidalgo. A murder suspect is in custody because of a social media page. Fox's Saljean Grasso reports.
Caught with the help of Instagram, love triangle murder suspect Lee Almonte was extradited to New York City thanks to an Instagram page. Police were looking for Almonte for close to 4 years, but an Instagram post practically led them to his doorstep in California. In May, they saw 34-year-old Almonte in a snap on the Instagram account for a Los Angeles barber getting a trim. The NYPD had been looking for Almonte since December 2017, when 27-year-old Jadel Garcia was fatally shot 6 times in the back in Manhattan. At the time, police said the gunplay was possibly the result of a love triangle caused by an ongoing argument over the victim's wife. Now, Almonte's in custody. His time on the lam cut short. Saljean Grasso, Fox News.
And I'm Joe Giro, Fox News.
Hey, Jack. Is it true Jack in the Box has breakfast all day?
That's why we call it all-day breakfast.
And all night?
Yep.
Early evenings?
You're so close to getting it. All-day breakfast with freshly cracked eggs. Only at Jack in the Box.
Here at Guam Auto Spot, we have the best selection in Buick, GMC, Mitsubishi, and used cars. Like the 2021 Mitsubishi Mirage. As low as $127 per paycheck, 0 down. Or this 2021 Buick Encore. As low as $237 per paycheck, 0 down for 72 months. Call 478-AUTO to schedule a test drive or get pre-approved online at guamautospot.com.
Hafaday, this is Josh here at APL. Our expertise and extensive network can help you grow your business and reach out to more global markets. As a responsible carrier, APL is also committed to a sustainable future, whether it's protecting the environment or investing our efforts in giving back to the community. Our dedicated teams in Guam, Saipan, and on U.S. mainland are here to support you. Call 588-4651 or visit www.apl.com.
The more you buy, the more you save for the whole month of August at Furniture Kathy Style. We just received a huge shipment of Vario rugs, all 30% off from now until the end of the month. Furnish your home at great discount and take advantage of our amazing deals for this month. If you're not buying furniture from us, you're paying too much. Stop by our showroom or visit our website at FurnitureKathyStyle.com. To shop with us today, contact us at 671-300-9590 or on social media for more information.
Off a day, it's 6:06. I'm Ana Silva Tyron with a look at your local news on the point. Well, police are investigating a fatal crash that took place late Saturday night in Pedy. A 29-year-old woman was killed in that crash after she lost control of her Hyundai Tucson near Polaris Point and struck a concrete utility pole. Police spokesman Sergeant Paul Tapau says that the woman was pronounced dead at the scene. 2 other women were taken to the Naval Hospital and Guam Memorial Hospital. Their condition is not known this morning. The investigation, meanwhile, will determine if speed or alcohol or drugs were factors in that crash. Without any action, fiscal year 2022's budget has lapsed into law. This setting the budget for the government of Guam at $937 million. Governor Lulian Guerrero, while she didn't affix her signature on the new public law, she did send a letter to the Speaker of the Legislature to point out some of the issues that she had with the bill, one of which was the lockbox that was placed on the $20 million surplus for tax refunds and the failure to grant enhanced appropriations to some agencies. Meanwhile, the Speaker, Therese Terlahi, has responded in a press release. She reiterated her concerns that the budget was constructed with no information from the administration regarding the $600 million from the American Rescue Plan and how that plans to be spent. And she looks forward how the island is going to move forward with the pandemic and supplement the FY 2022 budget. Now, Chalahi adding that the budget passed prioritizes current fiscal year 2021 revenues for tax refunds, including money received from Section 30 and other taxes. Chalahi insisting that the people's money needs to be returned to them now when they need it most. 72 people are in the hospital this morning and 7 in intensive care, 3 of them on ventilators. This while there were 85 new cases of COVID-19 reported out of 651 people who were tested on Saturday. Additional results are pending analysis and will be reported today. Meanwhile, the total count from the COVID positive cases comes to 12,379 with 159 deaths. Now, 4 of the most recent COVID-related fatalities were reported on Friday, all of the deaths taking place on one day at the Naval Hospital. A 64-year-old female and a 57-year-old man were reported to have died as a result of COVID-19. A female adult whose age wasn't reported and also a man whose age was not reported. All of them are said to have had underlying health conditions and were tested positive with COVID-19. We'll have more news right after this.
Bank Pacific, where others put branches, we place roots.
Remix!
Viva! Bank Pacific! Viva!
Member FDIC.
The Guam Daily Post reports Public Health has received a shipment of monoclonal antibody treatment, and that treatment might be available as soon as Wednesday. The Post reporting it will administer the treatment at an infusion center outside of either the GMH or GRMC. Public Health didn't have the exact number of the doses received, but they expected about 100. Some of those doses may first go to GMH and GRMC for patients who've been referred to either of the facilities from the Teads and testing site. That treatment is for those who have been referred so that they don't get sick or require hospitalization. Meanwhile, the Post also reports the Guam Hotel and Restaurant Association looking at options to offer testing to unvaccinated employees of restaurants, bars, gyms, and other businesses affected by the governor's most recent executive order. The governor's mandate will require that starting on September 27th, the employees will either have to be fully vaccinated or test negative every week for COVID-19. According to GHRA President Mary Rhodes, the 3 weekly testing options would include, of course, Public Health's Teads testing site. Employers can either also stand up their own testing sites, or employees can go to the GHRA and American Medical Center testing sites. There is a $25 fee, she says, that covers the administration of the test, labor cost registration, and their QR code. And those are your top stories here on The Point. Here's Ray with your weather.
So we can stand up our own little testing center here.
Yeah.
Can you smell? Real Joe, put my finger.
Where's
Can you
the beer
smell?
test?
The beer
smell
test.
your finger.
We'll do the beer test around here and see if that works out. That's the test. Are you sick?
morning.
No. Okay, come to work. I'm sure the DPHS, I'm sure that there's other protocols.
Well, you could team up
and,
with maybe 10
mitigations.
businesses in your
That would be
immediate
a,
vicinity,
that
right?
would be a good thing. All right, I suppose. I mean, like the people are teaming up to get health insurance and things like that.
Yeah,
I don't know, strange and ridiculous times. And there's this now, and I put this up on the screen because I thought it was funny. I still think it does. And it's a meme from Mr. Smith says, just laid off 13 vaccinated employees to get my count down to 99. Much easier than I thought. But I love this. He's canning the vaccinated ones, not the unvaccinated ones. All right, so everybody's got their opinion on all of this stuff. But I think the one that's going to matter is what the Supreme Court has to say when Biden's mess makes it all the way up there. 6:12 in the morning. All right, what have we got for you? Weather? Is it weather this morning? Says partly sunny with isolated isolated showers and thunderstorms. I can hear the streets outside. Very, very wet already. Northeast winds 10 to 15 miles an hour. Daytime highs today should be about 87 degrees. Mostly cloudy, scattered showers, isolated thunderstorms tonight and tomorrow. Winds out of the east 10 to 15 miles an hour. Some thunderstorms may produce some gusty winds and heavy rainfall, so beware of that. Lows near 78, highs around 87 degrees. Might be able to see if I can get the actual satellite imagery up on the screen so that you can see what's going on and where we are in the neighborhood and all of that basic, I'm going to use a weather term here. That's a chop. We got some chop in the area here, and that chop is going to bring some broken moments of sun and rain to us over the next couple of days. Heat index today should feel like 96 degrees. Sunrise this morning is 6:09. Sunset tonight is going to be at 6:23, and everybody you know was at the beach or on some kind of promontory yesterday because everybody that you know has put together some kind of a sunset picture from the place, including maybe even me. Do I have I thought I might have had a sunset picture up here. Gemma has got a picture of sunrise here this morning, but not very, very impressive over at her place, sorry to say. Maybe a little bit later on when we get a little bit more by way of actual sunshine on the island. But just if you take a look at your Facebook or your Instagram anytime in the last 12 hours, you will see some of the most incredible and gorgeous sunsets that we've seen in a while. Now, this might be last night, might be Saturday night. Saturday night was a great sunset as well. So we're going for a triple play here of gorgeous sunsets. Saturday night, Sunday night, and will we have a gorgeous sunset on Monday? I don't know. We'll find out at 6:23 or so. 6:14, that's news and weather together. Brought to you by Bank Pacific, banking on the Pacific for 67 years.
GovGuam employees and retirees, it's time to choose your health plan. Choose a network of more than 200 providers, including GRMC, GMH, STA, AMC, IHP, and the FHP Health Center. Choose lower copays at preferred in-network providers. Choose fitness partners, including PFC. Choose a payroll deduction as low as $2.04 biweekly. For yourself and your family, choose Take Care. Open enrollment is September 1st through the 25th. For more information, go to takecareasia.com or call 649-0468. Take Care, our island, your health plan.
What's for breakfast at KFC under $3.95, you ask? What's for breakfast at KFC that's different than the other guys, you ask? KFC's chicken wrap, sausage wrap, the Colonel's chicken congee, chicken fried steak, sausage biscuit and gravy, and biscuit sandwiches made with KFC's original fluffy biscuits. All for under $3.95 and all only at KFC. Plus, with waffles and the Colonel's chicken fried rice, we've got something for everyone.
So visit KFC for breakfast today. It's finger-licking good.
I hear that. 6:15 in the morning. Portions of the program brought to you by APL, American President Lines, a global presence with a local home. And I'm getting notes here from Ponch Nuke. Says that today is his wife, Mary Tess's 50th birthday.
Happy birthday.
Now, I'm not going to say I've been stalking, right? But I see Mary Tess, and she's been, putting pictures up of her at the salon and, the spas and things like that.
Yeah.
And I'm going, there's no way that woman is 50 years old. No way. So you might be able to fool some people with, oh yeah, this is my wife, she's 50. But you're not going to be able to fool me. Absolutely not. Anyway, so happy birthday to her. And let me see. It says, love her to the moon and back. I can honestly and finally say to her, welcome to the club. What the way off the calendar club? Sorry about that. But here's what I want you to do, Punch, is go and get her a brand new car. They're waiting for you over at Nissan. Here's what you might be able to get her interested in here: a Nissan Rogue, 0 down, APR as low as 1.99%. Maybe they'll throw in a couple of other cool things just because it's her birthday. Super redesigned inside and out, most standard safety features in its class, and the now class exclusive. Only Nissan has them. Zero gravity seats. Consumers' best buy for 2021 and ready for a test drive today at Nissan Guam.
The Ray Gibson Show. Morning talk that matters. Call now. 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
So romantical, huh? Punch and Mary Tess Were you at the sunset last night? Will there be sunset tonight on her birthday? I hope that you get a great sunset like folks did. This one from Agate Marina last night. Yeah, oh wow is right. I mean, it just had the right kind of colors going down, and as the sun is going down, kind of on the right hand side, I'm looking over at it, going, the action's going to be on the left. And sure enough, as soon as the sun started making its way, just drooping below the horizon a little bit, all of the colors shifted over to these clouds that were just splayed out on the left-hand side. And just a gorgeous, gorgeous night, and worthy of. I mean, that sunset right there. That was responsible for a whole other beer. I was going to split, but I'm looking at the sunset, going, okay, just one more before I call it a weekend. And I'm glad I stuck around for that. 888-825-5888-TALK is the telephone number around these parts. 888-8255. You can send me the meme 988-5874. That's 988-5874. And one of the other spectacular things to pop out of the sky last night was the Tim Ono general. What's his rank? Mon, do you remember his rank? Tim Ono, the jumper.
Oh yeah, Command Master Sergeant Major.
Command Master Sergeant Major. Tim Ono. I might be able to get that video up on the screen for you yesterday. Well, you know, their tribute to 9/11
yeah.
came because that was what everybody else was talking about over the weekend when you know we were talking about sunsets and where we're going to be goofing off and what you and Booger Boy were going to be up to all weekend.
Yeah.
Ruckus. And then everybody else was talking and thinking about 9/11. Joe Pags did a great program. If you weren't listening, if you weren't awake at 4 o'clock in the morning, we run a guy named Joe Pags, and today his guest was Mayor Rudy Giuliani, former mayor of New York City, Rudy Giuliani, and he's referred to as America's mayor because this was the guy 20 years ago that had from about ground zero in New York. Not that was the only place, but in New York where things were just spectacular, the trade centers falling down, and he was the guy that was able to galvanize the country and just a lot of symbolism, a lot of work, and a lot of great people. If you get a chance to listen to that interview, I'd go for it again. 6:19 in the morning. Anyway, welcome to the program. Excuse the mess. Ray Gibson over here. Real Joe gets the phone when you call it 888-825-5888-TALK. Mona Silva, Tyron with all the big news and the headlines. That sound just like last week's news, and
They all sound the same.
It's all COVID, something. You know what? But you know what we've got here that's different than what we had last week. Are you ready?
What?
I'm so ready, man.
We have football.
Oh, yeah, hey.
There's football today.
Wow.
There's a ton of football today. All of the first games, unless they've gone into some kind of overtime or dumb, I'll take a look at the scores that we got in a couple of minutes. I haven't stuck the thing up on the screen, so I haven't had a chance to take a look at it and see who's ahead. And here's the problem. You know what? They got woke last year, the NFL. So I didn't pay much attention to last season, and we were in the middle of COVID. Yeah, I took a knee on the whole thing, and but I'm kind of interested now to see where everybody is, and where the hopefuls and the promises towards the Super Bowl are going to come from. If in fact I can stomach a couple of the wokeness of the NFL a little bit later on. So I'll at least get you the scores in a little bit. 20 after 6 o'clock in the morning. Lots of stuff on the table of contents. We'll get around to talking about some of those things. But anybody do anything interesting over the weekend? Real Joe?
Oh yeah.
Interesting. What?
Broke my back.
What?
Yeah.
Huh?
Spinal.
No.
Yeah.
Really? What happened?
Oh, was
Did
in
you
the mountain.
crash?
Yeah. No, I didn't crash, but I think I tweaked something.
Did you like your body was going in one direction and your neck and your back were kind of going in the other one?
It was an old man moment.
But did you have that moment of panic, like, oh crap, I have to work on Monday?
Here we go.
I hope this goes away by Monday morning about 3. So
I would have crawled in, Ray.
Get to the radio station, and
I would have crawled in here, man.
Good, because as I say, I installed everything on that side, but I have literally no idea how any of it works. I have a high altitude view, but when we start talking about individual buttons and what they do and why, I totally can't do your job. Monica, could you do Real Joe's job?
Yeah.
Of course.
I mean, not good, but I could do it, and we could stay on the air. I mean,
the meters would keep moving in this direction, and that's a good thing. All right, well, I suppose that's the best I can do. So, what about you? Any adventures over the weekend?
We did have an adventure.
Did you break your back?
No, but I did break in.
I broke my back too.
We actually went to go visit accidentally Uncle Carl's place up there in Arunau.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well,
wow.
we were going to go to Ritidian, and Phil was driving and
Took the wrong turn.
Took the wrong turn and ended up there. And so we just how do we get to the beach? And the
Two
guy
pigs
said,
and a deer later.
So we just ended up calling Uncle Carl and say, can we hang out here?
Can somebody unlock the door?
Yeah. So he allowed us to hang out there a little bit. It was my first time there, so it was really, really cool.
Oh, God's country, McGaw.
It was, yeah.
It's just beautiful there. I mean, and there's so many different levels. So you got the upside, and most of the properties are like that in that stretch of road. So you've got kind of an upside on the road, and then you go down, and he kind of nuzzles that area there. He nuzzles up against a little bit of a cliff on the side, and that's where I want him to put the big slide. I want him to make a slide from the top all the way, like a 60-foot slide from the top all the way into the ocean, and it's one good spot.
But you can only do that on a high tide.
Yeah, but there's a hole out there towards the reef, which is normally, oh my God, dangerous. Don't even look at it, you'll drown. But there's a spot that they've got there where you can actually get in and do some swimming and snorkeling and fishing.
Yeah.
Yes. So did you?
So Phil went fishing and I did some swimming.
Good man.
So yeah, it was really cool.
But
really,
yeah,
really
just a great spot. I've you know what? Can I tell you what I did up there once upon a time? I have a metal detector, right?
Oh.
And so I'm thinking, metal detector. I'm going to go and see if I can see what I can find under the sands of Arunau.
Yeah.
Couldn't find anything.
Nothing?
No, it's
bombs,
pristine.
no
There's
bullets,
no bombs. There's no bullets. There's no coins. There's no Civil War stuff. There's no Washington's teeth. And there weren't even bottle caps. There weren't even bottle caps in the sand. The place is it's that pristine,
nice.
which is and one of the reasons why I was kind of pretty vocal about let's not make a nice road from Dedido up to Litekzen and that area, because people are just going to go and trash. So to the degree that people have respected the chains and the locks, that's a great thing. And there's some other really fantastic spots up in. So that was as far as you got?
No, actually, I walked on the beach. I walked on the beach, and then I went up a little ways, and there's like a resort.
Did
there.
any Arteros threaten you with their guns? Get off my land!
No, not at all.
No.
Okay.
Yes.
I come in peace. I come in peace.
Hey, you're the Arteros.
But they have
right?
that really nice the Ritidian Eco Resort.
It's awesome.
Oh,
it's
so
awesome. Okay,
pretty.
so it's 6:25. Can I do one other adventure? The next time you guys take the wrong turn and go in there is you can go down. There's adventurous stuff. Obviously, if you go down to where the water is and the ocean where all of that comes together, it's just gorgeous there. But the other adventure is that cliff behind you.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually a gradual climb, so you can scale up to the top.
Okay, no, thank you.
Of that
thanks,
cliff.
Ray.
The view.
Yeah.
Oh my God! It's
See you up there, bro.
Yeah.
Who does that?
Me and my casino friends like to do that from time to time.
Scared of heights.
But it's like I said,
just
it's
looked
kind
at
of a
your
gradual
pictures.
climb. It's a gradual climb, and you can see Uncle Carl. Let's all go down there.
But thank you, Uncle Carl.
Can we have your re-election fundraiser there? That would be a great place for Carl Gutierrez to have an election.
Yeah.
If not for him, then Mike Sinicolas. Right?
Oh, wow.
This is just me. I'm starting crap early today. All right. Now, did anybody
And
make
happy
it?
birthday to Artie. It's his birthday today.
Oh, Artie Gibson.
33 years old.
The other Ray Gibson is having a birthday. He's
Happy
how old?
birthday, Artie.
He's the real Ray Gibson, just FYI.
He's the smart one, the good-looking one, the talented one.
So stop messing up his name, will you?
Exactly. It's when it's really bad is when we're both together. I could hardly when he was born. I'm like, dude, when this kid's 18, it's going to be great because we can drink together and to the degree that we're actually in places like the venue when one of them if one of us is there already and the other one comes in, it's last call for somebody. It's like you can't both be in the same room here together. Sorry about that, but anyway, happy birthday to you, RD. Love you so much and so very very proud of you. As I said, he's the smart one in the family. And was able to take all of the smarts and all the talent. He uses that at the middle school, right? Benavente Middle School.
No, actually, he's at Rios now.
Oh, he's moved to Rios.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, gotcha. All right. Well, that's a good thing. Because, hey, Governor, send the flower basket someplace else. I thought it was over at Benavente. I didn't get that WhatsApp thing. Because we got one of those family WhatsApps where, like, if you close your eyes on it, you come back and there's 100 messages that you've missed. Mm-hmm. Anyway, speaking of messages from people that we've missed, Real Joe pressed the button on the song.
Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You wanna be where you can see our troubles are all the same.
You want to go, and sometimes it's here on the Ray Gibson Show, and sometimes you go where everybody knows your name. It might actually be like on the west coast of the United States of America, maybe up in Washington, up in where Keenan McCausland is.
Oh, yeah.
And Tonduk are.
Duke's here to party.
So I've been communicating with them offline over the last couple of days. You know why? So Keena posts this up on her Facebook page. She says, "Oh, I finally got my Pica 2 sauce. Have you ever heard of this, Real Joe?"
No.
So I'm looking
First
at that
time,
and going,
right here.
where can I buy that on Guam? I'm looking. I want to support local, and obviously these are hot sauces from Chamorro people. It says Pica 2, and it's mild and medium and fire. Right? You can get all those different versions of it. Anyway, so she's bragging about getting them. I'm like, oh, man, it looks good. So I'm thinking, where, Tenda Inda? Is that where I get that? Am I supposed to, like, Payless? Can I find that at Payless?
It's not available in Guam.
It's not. It's
I
not.
was just kidding, man.
No, but you're right.
It's not?
You got to buy it from Tondukduk's son.
Way to go, man.
And daughter-in-law. And at some point, Keena's going to put some communication on that. Anyway, so Hoffa, Godson, Tasha, and Phil Cruz. Ismail says, Tondukduk, only thing memorable about the Dolphins is Finkel and Einhorn, and Finkel. But never too early, apparently, to get into a scrap over football. That's great. Dennis Larson saying, smoke a blunt, Joe Cruz, that'll fix it.
Oh, wow.
That's it. He's a doctor.
Really?
He's a man of bees.
Okay.
So if he knows.
Right away, sir.
Right away. Sandra Regis, who celebrated her birthday over the weekend. Sorry I couldn't make the deal. Happy birthday to you, Sandra, says, and Jay Rojas is online. Hoffa Jay. Good to have you there, Brett. Army Lynn is hanging out. Army Lynn's one of the people that sent me a couple of those images of Tim Otto hurtling out of the airplane and hurtling to the ground to face certain death. But his parachute.
Oh, no.
His parachute.
Oh, no.
I'll break my back like Real Joe. Sandra saying, thank goodness my parents met some of my friends. Now they don't think my friends are Cucino. But remember, I wasn't there. So if I was there, they would have said, "Oh, Sandra, your friends are so nice, except that Holly with the beard. What's up with him?" We got Pam Duvall, the mom of the show, saying good morning to all the beautiful people. There's Rico B, and let me see who else is watching the program. Who's along for the ride here this morning? I got into this thing kind of late, so I'm not sure if I got to refresh the gizmo or not. No doubt, all kinds of other people are online wondering what else took place over the weekend. Ray, did you participate in the Department of Education's Jum meeting? I did not. I get to be Saturday morning at 10 o'clock, and I've been busy. You know, they say when at the end, your life will flash before your eyes. Now, I'm not suggesting that I'm in like death mode or anything like that, but I did spend a lot of time over the weekend re-watching some of my favorite movies on Netflix and the Hulus and things like that. And I tell you what, I was so inspired by the sunset last night. I came home and watched Porky's.
Wow.
Porky's. We were talking.
Huh?
Remember, we were talking about Porky's because it was Kim Cattrall's birthday.
Yeah.
And so I stuck the thing back on. I might have had to pay for it. I'm not sure. I might actually own Porky's now. But yeah, absolutely worth it. I mean, every penny. It's amazing how many scenes in that movie there are that are resonant with you, and that you just realize, holy smokes, this is brilliant stuff that they put together. But Joe D's on. Good to have you there, and happy birthday to Sandra Regis from Keena and so much more. If you are interested in the Pica 2, I would say then find Tondukduk, right-click on Tondukduk or Keena McCausland, and get into their DMs and see what they can do about hooking you up with the kids who I believe are in the desperation here, that plan that Mel Mendiola and the guys over at Geeta are putting together, that $20 million worth of relief that is going to be going out to businesses. Already 420 businesses have signed up for this thing, and there ain't but about $20 million in that program. That dough is going to go fast, and as far as I know, there's nothing behind it. There's nothing on the other side of that. There might be a program with Dave Del Solo down the road where we might be able to get employees in and have the government cover them to the tune of $9.25 an hour. But how long is that going to last? They've got a finite number of pay periods, and is that going to be first come first serve again? So I've got to get my application in for the applications to support these guys, and there might be some guys who go, wow, thanks, Ray. Appreciate everything that you've done trying to get me a job, but it just isn't working out. I got this buddy of mine, and he's where he works? He works at Crutchfield.
Oh, the sound
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it is kind of late in his life to begin a new career.
Yeah.
But that's where he's gone off to. And there's a lot of people that might be thinking exactly the same thing. Just filing Chapter 747. Put as much as you can in a bunch of suitcases. Sell the rest on Guam Grabs and get the hell out of here. And go find someplace where that dollar that you are going to earn, you might not be making the same dough in the States as you were making here. But Guam is at the front of the inflation train. Can you imagine all of a sudden going someplace where, number one, gasoline is cheaper, and number two, the food in the grocery stores are going to end up being cheaper and a lot fresher? You might not have the job with, the pay scale, but that money is going to go a lot further. Anyway, 6:34, more on that a little bit later on. So much to talk about. It is a big weekend for everybody, and I'm dying to find out what you guys have been up to as well. So don't be shy. 888-8255. Again, the meme machine, 988-5874. 6:35, we'll jump into some news and headlines with Mana Silva Tyron. Find out what else happened over the weekend. Mana.
A 29-year-old woman was killed in a fatal crash that took place on Saturday night in PD. 2 other women taken to the hospital with injuries. The woman was driving her Hyundai Tucson when she lost control and struck a concrete utility pole over by Polaris Point. The condition of the 2 other women isn't known this morning. Meanwhile, the governor has allowed the FY 2022 budget to lapse into law, setting the budget for Gov Guam at $937 million. The governor did point out that she did have some problems with the budget that the legislature passed, one of which was lockboxing the $20 million in surplus tax refunds. The Speaker of the legislature stands by it, though, saying, for one, it assures people get their money now when they need it most. And there were 85 new cases of COVID-19 out of the 651 people who were tested on Saturday. More are expected to be reported today or tomorrow. 159 deaths, was 4 of the most recent fatalities taking place on Friday. And those are your top stories here on The Point.
Wait, I didn't get the answer, and if I did, I wasn't paying attention. Did you watch the Zoom thing over the weekend with the Department of Education?
I turned it on and I tuned out. It was on, but I wasn't listening.
Real Joe, did you catch any of that?
All of it.
All of it.
I made an
Let's talk
attempt.
about it.
I turned it on and I was sitting there going, I got other things to do, so I just started.
Did it sound like educational, technical, or were there a lot of people just kind
It was
of?
background noise. I honestly didn't pay any attention. I was in attendance. If you're looking at people present,
They wanted to see. Okay, Mana's checked in. Is a journalistic opportunity here to get some overtime for the weekend. I don't. Did we learn anything? Because I honestly thought that at some point there would be some kind of a release that had come out from the Department of Education or the Ed Board or the governor's office or something that said, we did all of this and we had all of these people get together and they asked serious questions and then that was it.
They did talk about the different things that John has presented to us on The Point.
Okay, and
such as the different options that they're looking at, like the cohorts and stuff. So.
And staggered schedules.
But still, no idea when school's going to open.
Right,
and it's all dependent on
on
the positives and the hospitalizations.
It should have been the headline this morning. Headline number 1: there's no school today, or if there is,
you didn't get the memo,
it's going to be online learning because it's not like your kids are going back to school, except those kids that are over at the Dodea place. So no resolution. We'll get together later. Is there going to be a thing now? I don't know. I don't know where we are even after that Zoom meeting. We'll see what we can find out. Obviously, there might be a couple of stakeholders.
They don't know where they are either. So I think they're just kind of putting it out there, waiting for some sort of definitive answer because it is all dependent on the governor.
All right. Now, I misinterpreted this completely. There's a video that's floating around. I might play it if I can figure out how to transpose it from the Facebook link and it's what is it? Guam funny memes?
Yeah, Guam fun memes.
Fun memes. Anyway, so share this show on Guam Fun Memes. But at any rate, there's a video. There's a Zoom, and presumably the one that took place over the weekend. And there's this lady saying, and it sounds like this guy Timothy is pranking the governor, playing the what game?
Tomas.
Tomas. Yeah. All right. It sounds like Tomas is playing the what game with the governor. Governor, can you hear me? And the lady.
Well, I know Thomas, so he's not.
But he was. But there's all. You know what? If it was an attempt, there was a prank. It was just awesome. So Timothy, Tomas, outstanding work here. You were a lot of people's hero playing the what game, if that's what you were doing with Governor Lou Leon Guerrero. But basically, trying to ask a serious question like, do you care about the kids? Because the kids seem to be coming down with the COVID. But Thomas, if you're concerned about it, the kids. There's some kids getting sick from COVID, but they're not getting it from each other at the school. They're getting it at the house, which is why it's odd that based on that the governor would want the kids to be spending so much time at the house because that's where they're getting sick. But hey, what can I say? I'm not a man of science. 6:39 in the morning. The Ray Gibson Show continues after these.
Circle K brings you the G-Dog. Get ready for a succulent and flavorful street hot dogs made famous in New York City. These dogs are made with 100% all beef and cooked in a delicious blend of spices for a plump, juicy hot dog experience that's bursting with flavor. Visit your nearest participating Circle K and dig in on the best hot dog experience on island. The G-Dog, served from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Available at Anigua, Dededo, and Ocean Vista Circle K locations only. Circle K, hey, take it easy.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they'll continue to be there for you in the years to come. Whether you're looking to get a personal loan for that summer staycation or paying off those long overdue bills, Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $3,900 by calling Family Finance. Agana 475-4545, Upper Tumon at 647-5626, or in Dededo at 633-4473. Family Finance, serving the people of Guam since 1959. I got you. 20 away from 7 o'clock in the morning. I think she's got to be invited. Amanda was complaining because she's not on the Guam Funny Memes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
No one wants to be my friend?
No, you know what it is? No, we're afraid of you.
What?
I
am the funniest person.
When I said, okay, we're going to move from the radio station's communication, we're going to move from WhatsApp to the other one. What's the other one? The other
Signal.
Signal. I said, we're moving from WhatsApp to Signal. And she rolls her eyes like, crap, another group. Great, another WhatsApp group. So
See her there,
that's
man.
why nobody's inviting you to the fun stuff on the Facebook. Number one,
Signal.
most people don't know.
And then I left. I don't know if anyone's noticed.
Like I said, so my guess is that everybody's like, oh, let's ask Mana. First of all, does Mana even have a Facebook? Number one. Number two, wait, we're going to invite her to this thing, and she's going to go, excuse me, I only use Facebook so I can keep up with family and friends. I'm not into keep your so-called funny memes to yourself. Right? And
that's actually all I pay attention to. All I want to see on Facebook is funny stuff. If it's anything political or serious,
you kind of jump
really
out.
Look right past it.
I understand. It's 6:41 in the morning. So have you figured out your life now? Because you can't all go into the restaurant at the same time. Because I'm starting to see this everywhere I go. Is you got people that are standing in line now, not to get into the restaurant, but to pick up their to-go items because we got this stupid rule about vaccinated versus unvaccinated. And guess what? Not everybody in the household has the same vaccination status, guys. So smart thinkers like the guys over at Applebee's say, tell you what, we'll make it easy for you to feed a family. They've got these take-out platters, and you can feature one of a couple of platters on the spot. The $60 family platter combo, your choice of boneless wings or mozzarella sticks. And then we've got a large house salad, and you got a bunch of different choices on platters. The St. Louis Ribs family platter, a miso salmon family platter. Whenever I see miso, I think so. You know what? Where am I? Yeah. Island pork chop, pot roast, and salmon Alfredo family platters. Call 969-5448. That's the phone number over at Applebee's. And this is not a new kind of business to them. They know how to do takeout and to-go orders. So they're going to make you happy at Applebee's. 969-5448. Business owners looking to expand, looking for an opportunity to give your business, looking to give your business a chance to succeed. There's a commercial space for rent at the DNA Plaza, Tamuning, next to Cost You Less, home to the famous Tokyo Mart, Ma's Kitchen, Yogurt Land, and others. Great foot traffic, 1,320 square feet available. Call DNA Incorporated for more information, 477-9053 or 9054, or email dnainc.guam@gmail.com. Nothing traffic It's only even just intersection traffic, maybe. Not a lot happening up at Anderson Air Force Base. Did you see the cool planes that we've been flying around there? There was
we paid for those.
F-22, F-23s or something like that.
Raptors.
And then they had a couple of big tankers go by with the little needle in the back so that they can refuel in flight. That was amazing. I love watching. It's like a car. It's like an air show every day when you're over at the beach. All you got to do is be looking up. Let me see. We got a little bit of traffic up in the Route 1 Marine Corps Drive because it's Marine Corps Drive. But it looks like it's running fairly smooth all the way down to Big Navy in Sumai. Not seeing anything over at Polaris. Not seeing anything on the way into Big Navy. Not even seeing a whole lot by Adloop right now, which is where they're doing a little bit of road construction. Maybe you caught with some of that. 6:44 in the morning. There's your right now traffic here on The Point. BK's new Garlic and Bacon King is now available. 2 quarter-pound fire-grilled beef patties topped with creamy mayonnaise, smoky bacon, 2 American cheese, and crispy garlic pieces on a warm toasted sesame seed bun. Make this a meal with French fries or onion rings and a refreshing Coca-Cola. Get your hands on our new Garlic and Bacon King for a limited time only. Burger King, Hagutnya, Tumon Bay, Micronesia Mall, and the airport. BK your way.
Raise your glasses for a toast because First Hawaiian Bank now turns your meals into a reason to celebrate. Every dollar you spend on dining purchases, including fast food, earns you up to 3 times United miles. Simply use your First Hawaiian Bank United credit card and start reaping the most rewarding credit card experience on island. Terms and restrictions apply. Don't have a First Hawaiian Bank credit card? Visit any branch or FHB.com to apply today. With First Hawaiian Bank, it all starts with yes.
There it is. 6:45 in the morning, 888-8255, 888-TALK. Portions of the program brought to you by the guys over at Guam Auto Spot. Great selection of Buicks and Mitsubishis and GMCs. Used cars, if that's what you're in the market for. Check out the 2021 Mitsubishi Mirage at $127 a paycheck, 0 down. The number is 478-AUTO. Arrange a test drive or tell you what, get your online pre-approval. And you go, what do I need a pre-approval for? Because they will tell you how much credit you've got lined up with them, and you go, well, maybe I was looking at something at $127 a paycheck. Wait until they find out that you qualify for something at $200 a paycheck, or maybe even one of those cool golf carts that they've got over at GuamAutospot.com.
Real Talk Radio is back. The Ray Gibson Show. Morning talk that matters. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
6:46 in the morning. Hi, Ray Gibson Show. Welcome to it. If you just tuned in, you're going, wow, what did I miss? Raymond, what did I miss? You missed Jack. And apparently, if you missed the Zoom meeting with the Department of Education on Saturday morning at 10 o'clock, you didn't miss Jack in that one either. That's the up and down I'm getting from folks. Let me just say good morning to Catalina Pinalo Rios. Sarah Lake says, never ask Ray what he thinks is going on around here unless you want to hear the truth. Depends on the subject. Well, Sarah, I appreciate that, but it's my version of the truth built into how I experience the world and what I see when I look. And unfortunately, the problem that I got these days is it's hard for me to figure out what's real, especially when it comes to national and international news, where you've got one media outlet that says one thing, and then you go to another media outlet, i.e. Washington Post or whatever, and it's like completely different. And you go, well, somewhere in here is the truth. And let me tell you what I did. There's a guy, you know him. His name is Jeff Jones. That one. Jeff Jones. Triple J, Jeff Jones.
Yeah.
And he put a story up on Facebook and the social media, very social media active guy. And he puts one of these things up there, and it is a screenshot from his app, and it's called the All Sides app.
Oh.
And I got to turn you on to this. I generally figure if you're listening to me, I presume that you and I are, the same kind of political identity. But you are still, again, if you're listening to this program, probably likely to also explore the other end. I think it's a sign of intelligence when you can have two competitive thoughts in your head simultaneously. Is it all right? Very rarely. Is it all left? Very rarely. Usually the truth is out there in the middle somewhere. So what All Sides does is they will take a story, an issue. I'll give you an example. The Biden cock-up over vaccinations. And now every company with over 100 people is now going to be a target of OSHA because if one person is sick, oh my God, it's worse than people falling off ladders, right? So that's where that's going to go. So if you can, as you can imagine, there are numerous angles on this, and so all sides has been able to put together one or two or three stories that are representative of the right. And in some cases, the far right, the left, far left, and centric. You can download it. It's absolutely free. I think there's a membership nag every once in a while, but otherwise, just being able to subject yourself, if you can handle it, to the other side and how they see things, then I think it's going to be worthwhile. All Sides is the name of the app, and you can get it at Google and Apple. While you're there, if you haven't already, please download the Points app. It's 93.3 online listening application or something like that. Just look for 93.3. And I was going to say, don't look for our logo. They screwed it up and it's just a black box. I don't know why. I don't know why. But download the black boxy thing, and wherever you can get the internet, you'll be able to listen to us all the time. Brand Acavera is online wishing Sandra Regis a happy birthday. As I said, Lady D is there. Sarah Lake talking about the GDOE Zoom. Someone had a one-track mind, put it this way, not from GOE, not from GDOE. Not much change, same old stuff, same old, same old. Well, crap. As I said, though, there was an interesting part of the Zoom meeting, and I put it down to being to some guy. What'd you say his name was? Timothy? Tomas, that was pranking the governor. As it turns out, he wasn't. He wasn't, trying to prank the governor. It just kind of comes off that way. Do I have the thing up on?
Thomas, you can unmute yourself.
Let's see if I got this. Okay, so somebody's taking the Zoom and taking that part apart.
Since your hand is raised, Thomas, you can unmute yourself and ask your question. Thomas? Okay, I'm going to move to Benjamin Kim then. Benjamin?
Hello.
Oh, yes. Go ahead, Thomas.
Hi, how are you, Governor? Governor, I just have a quick question for you. Hello, Governor, are you there?
Yes, you can speak. We can all hear you.
Yeah, but can she hear me?
Yes, she can hear you.
Governor, can you hear me or no?
Thomas, she can hear you, Thomas.
Okay, Governor, I'm just going to ask you straight out. Do you care about the children of this island?
Yes, I do.
Do you? Because honestly, every kid is getting COVID. And yeah. Never mind, bye.
Never mind, bye. And so I'm watching that with a couple of friends over the weekend, and I thought, oh my God, he's totally punking the governor. But Mana says that's just the way he is.
Yes,
and
that's Thomas.
And he wasn't trying to give the governor a hard time. Was not pranking the governor.
He probably got nervous
However,
when he realized he was talking to the governor.
However, the next time next time I challenge because they don't invite us, right? Because we're small time, right? They only invite the butt kissers from the other media out to these governor addresses. Okay, so who's still in the media that we can have a good time with? Okay, Philly and Guerrero. Phil from the Guam Daily Post. I dare you, Phil. I want you to punk the governor next time. Governor, can you hear me? Hello, is this thing on? Governor, can you hear me? She come on. Yeah, I can hear you, Phil. I can hear you. I don't know. Gov, are you there, Gov? Are you there? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? We used to do that. We used to do when the beginning of the cell phone revolution. I used to do that. Was one of my favorite pranks. Was I would play the what game with people calling because cell phones were new and they were still kind of untested around here. So somebody'd be a big shot and they'd call the radio station to make a request or something like that. And I just go, what? I'm sorry. I'm having a hard time hearing you. Go. Can you repeat that? A little bit louder now. A little bit loud. I'm sorry. Could you speak a little bit? No, just louder. Go ahead and yell. And I have these people yelling at their phone. Gotta get air checks of that. Those were the funnest times of my life. Anyway, 6:53 in the morning. Other items in the table of contents. I'll get around to that in a second. But Thomas made sense is what they're saying. Christina Huckog is online. Pam says Friday took my 9-year-old to see Jungle Cruise. Had the whole theater to ourselves. It was great. Dennis Larson talking about miso salmon. He says, no, me so stoned.
Oh, nice.
What a great way to start off off the day here. That's so nice. Ron Castro waving at everybody this morning. Jason Dinkle say, good morning, Guam Warriors. It's Monday morning football. Go Chiefs. Is that a cue? Is that what are you guys getting me to?
Wow, Chiefs. Can you say that?
Well, they're actually a pretty good team, right? Let me see if I can get some NFL scores up on, not up on the screen. I'll just read them to you because I know for some guys it's important. Dona Mila into Titano, M to F, GSME. How high will my blood pressure rise? Listening to Ray and Bob. You know what? There's a pill you can take for that, right? The high blood.
Yeah.
If you're prone to that, Mark Boytland saying good mornings. However, Tom did have some lucid questions on the Zoom chat. Army Lynn saying, "Can you hear me?" Sarita Garin online here this morning, and I got some pretty. Oh my God, I've got gorgeous sunset pictures from her, even though she's not in them. I'll put them up on the screen a little bit. Anyway, 6:54. All right, here's what I got for football. I got the Seahawks beating the Colts. It was 28-16. The Texans over the Jaguars, 37 to 21. I got the Dolphins over the Patriots. So far, they're just in the first quarter. In fact, I got a whole bunch of first quarter games. Where's the ones that got played a little bit earlier? I want to get those old scores up on the screen. Can I do it? Yeah. Yeah, there it is. Cowboys lost to the Buccaneers, but just by a couple of points. It was 31-29. Seattle over the Colts. Keena's happy. Seahawks beat the Colts 28-16. Again, the Texans over the Jaguars 37-21. Eagles beat the Falcons. It's 32-6, and it is pronounced that way. Falcons, not Falcons. Falcons.
The Falcons.
All right, it's the Falcons. You got to say it with the British accent. Let me see. Chargers over the Washington football team. It was 20-16. Steelers beat the Bills 23-16. I got the Niners over the Lions 41-33. The Bengals beat the Vikings 27-14. It was the Panthers. Wow. Okay, don't get excited. Don't get Carolina Panthers people. I know this from experience. Don't get all excited. Carolina usually will come out of the gates a little bit strong. You go, woohoo! You know what? Just remember the disappointment of football seasons ago where the Panthers have done exactly the same thing. Looking good on the way out, but then they just kind of lose steam. Panthers over the Jets here 19-14. Cardinals beat the Titans 38-13. Hold up Browns and the Chiefs. And as I said, go Chiefs. But the Browns are over them right now. It's 8-3, but still in the first quarter. And we got the Dolphins ahead of the Patriots 7-0. And I'm sure the Dolphins are just losing their minds. Oh my God! Oh my God! Wow. 7-0 over the Patriots. Over the Patriots.
Yes.
My God, it's 9/11 weekend, and we're beating the Patriots. This is awesome.
Lease is out.
Yeah. Still very, very early in the game. We'll check back within a couple of minutes. 9:56. All right. Seriously now, items in the table of contents. What do we get to look at? There's much being made this morning about the budget. Which budget? The one that they passed over at the legislature. Maybe you remember hearing about that. And we refer to it as the wishful thinking budget because we're not really sure where the money is going to be coming from in the next fiscal year. We're not really sure what the withholding taxes are going to be in the GRTs. You know, considering that there's well, you know, we're not getting the same kind of individualized service out of the federal government that we had in most of fiscal 2021, as in the public, the Pandemic Unemployment Assistance Program, LWAs, FPUCs, and things like that. And even things like what's going to be happening with food and money to go and all of that. It would just there's not a whole lot of certainty on that at this point, and I don't see anything happening in the very near future that is going to make that much of a difference. Because if it was going to come from Biden, it would have already happened, and they're still wrangling over that $3 trillion infrastructure budget that I think AOC blew a gasket over the weekend in Washington D.C. All right. Having said that, though, it seems to me the certainty on withholding funds and business privilege taxes is non-existent. So you get these departments and agencies going to the governor's office or going to the legislature and saying, well, just go ahead and give us what you think is appropriate, and whatever we don't get from you, we'll get from the governor in the what is it, All Rise, Surprise, whatever fund it is that they've got now, the American Rescue Plan dollars. But the guys over at the legislature haven't seen, in fact, none of us really have seen how the governor intends to spend all of that money. We know that she wants to sock away $300 million worth of legacy for a hospital that we'll never see. But politics being what it is. So the legislature, it says here In the front of today's Guam Daily Post, Governor Lou Leon Guerrero's fiscal team will need to file a monthly report on how it has allocated discretionary pandemic funds authorized by Congress. The requirement was the last edition of the upcoming fiscal year's budget bill, which Leon Guerrero allowed to lapse into law on Saturday. And you might be going, well, at least the second branch of the government has stood up to Adelou and said, you will give us a monthly report to show us how this $600 million to $550 some odd million is getting spent. For all of the people of Guam, how is that money getting spent? And you might think, wow, good on the legislature. I'll remind you that this is the same legislature that was getting hit or miss monthly reports coming out of DOA and BBMR. You remember that? And we'd get a hold of the report and basically wouldn't say anything. It'd give you a department and agency and how much was spent, but it wouldn't actually say what those monies were actually spent on. So as far as monthly reports are concerned, turned out to be probably one of the more useless documents that came out of anywhere in the government of Guam. I can't believe they paid somebody to do it. At any rate, they did not learn their lesson, and now they're doing it again. Unless they put some language in there that prescribed exactly what that report was supposed to look like, get ready for them to be bamboozled by the administration yet again. Stand by for Fox News Live at 7 o'clock here on The Point.
From a Georgia apartment explosion, I'm Joe Chiro, Fox News. An explosion at a suburban Atlanta apartment complex has left several people injured. Fox's Charles Watson reports.
The explosion happened about 15 to 20 minutes north of Atlanta in Dunwoody, Georgia. Police tell Fox News that they were called out to the apartment complex around 1:30 local time this afternoon. Officers arrived to heavy gas fumes coming from or near the building. According to local affiliates, officers started to evacuate residents when an explosion erupted, injuring multiple people and trapping others inside. The explosion was reportedly so powerful that it caused structural damage to nearby buildings.
Authorities reportedly believe at least 2 people are unaccounted for, and it's unclear how many have been injured or hospitalized. President Biden travels to California Monday to rally support for embattled California Governor Gavin Newsom, who's facing a recall election on Tuesday.
President Biden will be stumping for him in Long Beach tomorrow. The president among many top Democrats to campaign for Newsom, including VP Kamala Harris and Senator Elizabeth Warren. But GOP frontrunner Larry Elder says the recall is not about political affiliation, but rather a referendum on change, with hot-button issues like homelessness and failing infrastructure in the state.
Fox's Marianne Rafferty. Experts say that if California went red, it could jeopardize Democratic control of the Senate. Gas prices ticking back up again. Industry analyst Troby Lundberg.
The average price of regular grade gasoline is $3.25. It's up 2 cents from 2 weeks ago, but this actually just cancels out the 2-cent drop in the prior 2-week period. So we have the same prices we had 1 month ago.
The lowest prices in Houston at $2.74 a gallon, the highest in San Francisco at $4.48. America is listening to Fox News.
Business owners looking to expand, looking for an opportunity to give your business, looking to give your business a chance to succeed. There's a commercial space for rent at the DNA building in Agutya. This is a 10-story building with 24-hour security guards, maintenance, and custodial staff. A fitness center, close proximity to the Superior Court of Guam, Agutya Post Office, and several banks. Call DNA Incorporated for more information. Telephone 477-9053 or 9054 or email dnainc.guam@gmail.com.
Looking to furnish your home? Furniture Kathy Style offers a wide variety of beautiful quality home furnishings at affordable prices. Find the best deals with mattresses starting at $169, sofas as low as $699, bed frames starting at $399, and dining sets starting at $499. Schedule a free design consultation and let us help you create a home you love. Follow us on social media, visit our website at FurnitureKathyStyle.com or call us at 300-9590 for more information. Shop with us today.
Pope Francis making his first trip abroad in 6 months, stopping earlier in Budapest, where he said Hungary could preserve its Christian roots while opening up to the needy. The stop in Budapest was unusually brief, lasting just a few hours.
It's prompting speculation about tensions with Hungary's anti-immigration government. In contrast, Francis is set to spend 4 days in Slovakia. This is also the Pope's first travel since he had intestinal surgery over the summer. In London, Simon Owen, Fox News.
Pope Francis is now in Slovakia before returning to Rome on Wednesday. Target's yearly chance for you to recycle unused car seats kicked off today nationwide.
It's a chance for you to turn in used car seats at Target stores across the country in return for a 20% discount on new car seats, strollers, or other baby gear. The annual event runs through Wednesday at all Target stores, a process this year that's designed to be contactless. Target says used car seats will be given to Waste Management to be recycled, a program that's recycled over 22 million pounds of car seats since 2016. Jeff Manasso, Fox News.
MTV's Video Music Awards take over the Barclays Center in New York.
Singer and rapper Doja Cat hosts the Video Music Awards on MTV, with Justin Bieber leading this year's nominations with 7, while Megan Thee Stallion follows with 6, Billie Eilish, BTS, Lil Nas X, Doja Cat, Drake, Giveon, and Olivia Rodrigo trail with 5. Casey Musgraves, Bieber, Ed Sheeran, and the Foo Fighters are set to perform, with the Foo Fighters also accepting the VMA's first ever Global Icon Award. The show begins at 8 Eastern and will also be available to stream on Paramount+. Michelle Polino, Fox News.
I'm Joe Tiro, Fox News.
Circle K brings you the G-Dog. Get ready for a succulent and flavorful street hot dogs made famous in New York City. These dogs are made with 100% all beef and cooked in a delicious blend of spices for a plump, juicy hot dog experience that's bursting with flavor. Visit your nearest participating Circle K and dig in on the best hot dog experience on island. The G-Dog, served from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Available at Anigua, Dededo, and Ocean Vista Circle K locations only. Circle K, hey, take it easy.
Half a day, this is Honey. Here at APL, our expertise and extensive network can help you grow your business and reach out to more global markets. As a responsible carrier, APL is also committed to a sustainable future, whether it's protecting the environment or investing our efforts in giving back to the community. Our dedicated teams in Guam, Saipan, and on U.S. mainland are here to support you. Call 588-4651 or visit apl.com.
Half a day, it's 7:06. I'm Mana Silva Tyron with a look at your local news on the point. A 29-year-old woman was killed in a fatal crash that took place on Saturday night in PD. The woman was driving a Hyundai Tucson when she lost control and struck a concrete utility pole. It happened near Polaris Point. Police say that 2 other women were taken to the hospital with injuries. However, their condition isn't known. They were taken to Naval Hospital and the Guam Memorial Hospital. The investigation will now determine if speed, alcohol, or drugs were factors in that crash. Without any action, the fiscal year 2022 budget has lapsed into law, setting the budget for Gov Guam for the next fiscal year at $937 million. The governor did point to some problems that she saw with the measure, one of which was a lockbox that senators placed on the $20 million surplus for tax refunds and the failure to grant enhanced appropriations to some agencies. But the Speaker of the legislature stands by the measure passed by the senators, saying that the budget was also constructed with no information from the administration on how it plans to spend the $600 million in the American Rescue Plan funds. Speaker Therese Terlahi also adding that the budget passed prioritizes current fiscal year 2021 revenues for tax refunds, including money received from Section 30 and other taxes. She insists that people should get their money, especially now when they need it the most. And the Department of Rev and Tax should have the first of the All Rise payments out this week, with about 14,000 applications processed and cleared last week. DRT Director Daphne Shimizu did tell us that more than half of the applicants elected to be paid by direct deposit, which makes it easier and quicker. The checks will be transmitted to the Treasurer of Guam no later than today. We'll have more news right after this.
There's so much that's new with the Eat Fresh, Refresh at Subway restaurants that we can't possibly fit it all into one radio spot, but I'm gonna try. There are amazing new toppings like hickory smoked bacon, bacon and smashed avocado. Try your favorite sub on the new breads like the hearty multigrain wheat or the artisan Italian white bread. Not to mention Subway's thicker, juicier steak. That's all I have time for. You gotta refresh to be fresh. Only at Subway.
From the JIC this morning, 85 new cases out of 651 specimens analyzed on Saturday. Additional results are pending analysis and submission from other clinics and will be reported today. So far, there are 12,379 confirmed cases. Meanwhile, the weekend also saw 4 new COVID deaths reported. 4 of the most recent reported on the same day. They all reportedly happened on September 8th. A 64-year-old female, a 57-year-old man, a female, and a male also said to have died with COVID-related complications. All of them did have underlying health conditions and were tested positive. Meanwhile, 72 people are in the hospital this morning, with 7 in intensive care, 3 of those individuals on ventilators. The Post is reporting that the Guam Hotel and Restaurant Association is looking at options to offer testing to unvaccinated employees of restaurants, bars, gyms, and other businesses. The governor's mandate goes into effect on September 27th, where employees will either have to be fully vaccinated or test negative. GHR President Mary Rhodes says that there are options that they are presenting. One would be to test at the public health site in Tizen. Employers can also stand up their own testing site, and employees can also go to the GHRA and American Medical Center testing sites. There is a $25 cost that will be applied. Also, at least one concert's been postponed indefinitely due to the mandate to downsize social gatherings. This from the Guam Daily Post. It reports that Euphoria's event was scheduled to take place. However, that has been canceled. It would have featured on- and off-island DJs. And this is because the executive order limits gatherings to 25 vaccinated and 10 vaccinated indoors, 25 for the outdoor activities. Full refunds will be given to customers who were able to purchase tickets. And those are your top stories here on The Point.
I would totally ride that. If I was the organizers of Euphoria, I'd say, man, that's too bad. Because what do they say? DJs were coming out?
Yeah.
Who cares? I would have come out and said, man, we were going to do Elton John's goodbye tour. This is it. This is the last year he's touring. We were going to bring him to Guam, but wow, thanks, Lou. We can't now because we've got this, the thing on. We were going to do Journey. We were going to bring out the surviving Rolling Stones, the last 2 Beatles, right? We're going to do, can you imagine a great, who do you want to see? Who do you want to see?
Michael McDonald.
What's his name? Scambaluri. You just go see him. He sings like that. He knows how to do that. Michael McDonald. Yeah. No, not Raph. The other one. The one that won the poker tournament online. That one.
Oh, Santino.
That one. Yeah, he knows how to do all that. See now that I would go to that concert. Mana, anybody in concert that you'd love to see right now?
Prince.
Ding a ding a ding a ding. Ow! If only we could. If only, but he's
reincarnated.
Another dead guy.
It's the only thing I'd pay for.
Another dead fellow. I was thinking about who's still alive that you want to see. Because it's a dwindling list anymore of these 60s and 70s supergroups with still living performers. I told you, Journey's got a new single out that's pretty good. Did you hear the new ABBA song?
Yeah, I did.
After 40 years, 4 decades, now they're going on.
And did it sound like the old ABBA song?
It sounded just like the old ABBA song. I was taken with the song, and I'm sitting there going, okay, we'll have a Mamma Mia 3 and give our nephew Artie something else to perform and give him a song. But if you haven't heard it yet, I mean, just Google later on for the new ABBA tune. And if you were like I said, if you are a woman of a certain age that listens to this program, trust me, you'll enjoy it. 7:12 in the morning.
Or a man.
Or
whatever.
I was gonna put a qualifier in front of that, but I don't think I will. The meme machine is online. Keep them coming, friends. I put this up on the screen to see if I can get Mona to spit coffee out of her nose. Almost, guys. This is President Dementia right there. 888-8255. The meme machine though, 988-5874.
I thought it was communion.
No. They're feeding him baby food. Is the thing. I've got a video here. that I might get up on the screen. Wait a second. Okay. Can we do sunrise over at Pirates Cove just real quick? Ooh.
Wow.
About 6:09 this morning. That's what it looked like when it was coming up. There's some other great images of the sun trying to make break the plane over on the eastern side of the island. But that's what Monday morning looked like. About an hour ago over at Pirates Cove. Weather for today, partly sunny and isolated showers. Expect some thunderstorms that have already fallen. Northeast winds 10 to 15 miles an hour. Expected daytime highs today should be about 87 degrees. It'll get to be tomorrow eventually, mostly cloudy, scattered showers, and more of these isolated thunderstorms in the forecast. That's what we've got pretty much all the way through the beginning of the week. Today, tomorrow, and a little bit of Wednesday will feature mostly two partly cloudy skies, isolated showers, and some thunderstorms out there. Sunrise each morning in the last several days has been at 6:09. Sunset going down earlier and earlier every day, 6:23 for sunset here today, and that's all right because that means that you can do a little bit of happy hour, get to the sunset, get to the outrageous images on the other side of the sunset, and still have time to go and pick up platters of food from some of our advertisers. 7:14, there's news and weather together on The Point.
Our best deal of the year, just for you. Switch and save over $1,000. Switch to GTA today and get up to $250 to cover costs for switching. A $700 discount on a new premium smartphone and $240 in internet bundle discounts. Don't need the $250 to switch? Choose the smartphone accessory bundle. Get a free pair of smart earphones and a bow case and screen protector to guard your new phone. Offer ends September 30th, so visit or call GTA today. Terms and conditions apply. GTA. We start with you.
Here at Guam Auto Spot, we have the best selection in Buick, GMC, Mitsubishi, and used cars. Like the 2021 Mitsubishi Mirage. As low as $127 per paycheck, 0 down. Or this 2021 Buick Encore. As low as $237 per paycheck, 0 down for 72 months. Call 478-AUTO to schedule a test drive or get pre-approved online at GuamAutospot.com.
I hear that. 7:15 in the morning. Portions of the program brought to you by Longhorn with an invitation to check out their Facebook page. You want to see their current menu, and it moves around a lot. But Longhorn, that new steak joint that we've got here on Guam, the recommendation is always going to be the Flows. Flows also in a combo, and of course they got that massive T-bone over there. You got to try it out. Call 969-5448 to place orders Monday to Sunday, 11 until 10. Delivery now available. They partnered up with Good To Go. So if you see something you like on the Facebook page, literally it can be in your house minutes later. From Longhorn.
Getting you back to the talk faster. It's the Ray Gibson Show.
Ooh. That guy's still on the air? You get that every once in a while. Hey, man, I listen to you all the time. What station are you on? Okay. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. It's kind of like Biden talking about the vaccine, doesn't it? No, you can take the vaccine. You don't have to wear a mask. And we need you to take the vaccine to protect the vaccinated. Well, wait a second. If they've got the vaccine, then why do we need to protect them? And he goes on to say how great the vaccines are, and they're so great that they need a third shot down the road. And they're already talking about boosters here at the White House. I spent a little bit of time over the weekend because I'm a businessman, and I wanted to find out if there was going to be any more coming out of the Biden White House that was going to be number one problematic. And then the other part was I kind of wanted to see what the reaction was from among the GOP, from among the Republicans. And you know, I want to say that the only Republican I heard from around here was Frank Blas Jr. Did you get him? Did you wake him up yet?
I'm trying.
All right, yeah. Wake the guy up because he actually had a couple of things to say about President Biden and the new vaccine mandate that is coming out of Washington D.C. Oddly reminiscent of some of the vaccine mandates that we've got here on Guam. And it just, you know, again, we keep getting down to what I consider to be kind of a logical flight of fancy when they start talking about how great this vaccine is and everybody has got to get it, but there's still people in the hospital that are showing up and getting sick that are vaccinated. We had at least one fatality of somebody that was vaccinated and still managed to die from COVID-19. Tough stuff out there, but we'll see what we can find out for you and on what the other reactions are going to be. I know that some among the Republicans Republicans and among the Republican or conservative bloggers, Ben Shapiro has started to, quote, lawyer up. They said, look, we've got over 100 employees we'd like to keep, and so we're gonna aim as many resources as possible, legal as it were, to see if there's something that can be done about all of this, and maybe hurry it up to the Supreme Court. We'll watch, we'll see. 7:18 in the morning. A couple of other things coming out of Washington that might be of interest to you. Actually, this one here coming out of the Philippines. Guam, ladies and gentlemen, is on the red list. Yay! Woo-hoo! Well, actually, that's not a good thing.
Oh.
It's we'd prefer to be on the green list. This one here comes this amazing on news that United has gone to 7-day-a-week trips to the Philippines, Manila in the Philippines. And then, all of a sudden, comes this story. Philippines imposes travel restrictions on 9 countries and territories under their red list. The countries covered are Azerbaijan, Guadeloupe, Guam, Israel, Kosovo, Montenegro, North Macedonia, Santa Lucia, and Switzerland. The travel restrictions for persons going and coming from these countries and territories will start. Actually, they started yesterday at noon. All passengers coming from or who have been to red list areas within 14 days before their arrival in the Philippines will be barred from entering as of noon yesterday until noon on September the 18th. Returning Filipinos from government-initiated or non-government repatriation programs are exempted. Those who will arrive from the 9 countries and territories before noon yesterday will be allowed to enter the Philippines, and then you're going to get stuck somewhere for 2 weeks worth of quarantine. First 10 days at a quarantine facility. Last 4 days will be under home quarantine supervised by the respective local government units. COVID-19 swab tests will be conducted on the 7th day of the quarantine. Transiting passengers are exempted from the latest government directive, provided they stayed only in the airport. The government has yet to give a reason for the travel restrictions imposed on these 9 countries and territories. Well, I'll tell you why. Because Guam is condition 4 on the CDC's website. I don't know that there's anything in the cards that's going to change that anytime soon. The numbers have got to come way back down from where they currently are. So it could be a while. I don't know how this is going to impact the, as I said, freshly announced change in flight schedules between here and Manila on United Airlines. This story here. I'll tell you why I'm reading it. It's 2 reasons. Number 1, because it's good for Guam and our agribusiness, and number 2, because it's going to trigger somebody over at Adelup. The U.S. Department of Commerce is investing $1.3 million in CARES Act recovery assistance to strengthen agribusiness infrastructure on Guam. You might be wondering. Now, they've got a couple of quotes here. One from the Secretary of Commerce, Gina Raimondo, who says this EDA investment will build greater operational capacity for small enterprise in Guam's agribusiness sector. Alejandro Castillo, the Assistant Secretary of Commerce for the Economic Development Agency, said this project will renovate green markets in Mangilao and Agate by replacing roofing, installing plumbing and other utilities, and constructing, are you ready for this, Joe? Because it's near your house.
Yeah.
A new facility in Sinaña.
Oh, wow.
To create new economic opportunities and jobs.
I like that.
Yes. And then there's this quote here. As we continue to see concrete benefits of federal relief coming to Guam, we're especially pleased to see these reaching directly into our villages, strengthening our local vendor opportunities and making recovery realized at the grassroots level. You know who said that? Are you going, I'll bet that because it's Lou Leon Guerrero, right? That's not like a Lou statement. Maybe, no, it wasn't Lou. It wasn't Josh. Congressman Michael Sinicolas. Mike Sinicolas got the words in the press release from EDA. Not the governor, not Josh, not somebody over at DOA or BBMR, even anybody over at Guam's Economic Development Authority. The quote comes from Congressman Michael Sinicolas. And somewhere over at the governor's office, somebody last name Calvo is pulling out some hair. It's 7:22 in the morning. Jerry Roberts is in with the extra report. Good morning, Jerry Roberts. How you doing there, buddy?
How you doing today?
Not bad, not bad. Just flying high. It's Monday morning. I'm feeling pretty good. Had a great weekend.
Sounds like it.
You know, family, friends, goofing off. It was just a wonderful time had by everybody. And you, how was your weekend?
It's okay. Just relaxing. News.
Did you watch the Zoom with the governor and the DOE people? No. Did you get caught up on the words of wisdom coming out the Biden White House?
I heard about some of those things.
Yes, this is. You know, I'm looking at the story in the Guam Daily Post. They did a good job writing it up here, talking about what the responsibilities are going to be for businesses. GHRA, this is Haiti writing. GHRA presents COVID-19 testing options for unvaccinated service industry workers, because there's still a whole bunch of people that have decided, for whatever reasons, that they don't want to get vaccinated, right? Which means that if they want to continue to work, they have to go get tested. And none of these testing options sound like any kind of fun at all.
Oh.
You know, you got to go get in a line someplace. And what if those lines look like, Mono, when you drive home? Cars in the hundreds lined up to get their COVID-19 tests. And then the time that it takes to get the results of those tests, which might be interesting. So what, you go in for
They
a
let
test.
you know that night if you are positive, they call you.
They will.
They call you that day, that night.
I don't know, because I've seen it go, you know, day two. If I've heard the complaints moving in that direction, and who would have to pay for those tests? Would it be the employers?
That's the government.
Or the government's going to pay?
No, you're talking about the normal everyday testing.
But we're going to get that
Well,
free. But if it takes time, okay. Or you can go someplace and pay for it.
That's somewhere, and that pay for it is $99, like at Express Care or someplace like that. $100.
So what?
Express Care is $200.
No, that's if it's $270. Well, I just went through it.
Yeah.
It's $279 if you want it the next day or the same day. It's $99 if you want it the next day. I just went through it. So unless it changed in the last couple of weeks. But we just
GHRA and the Post.
Wait. So Mono was making a point about it. It was like $200, and that's expensive. But you were saying it's $270 something.
If you want it the same day, if you want it the same day, it was $279.
Okay.
Normally, it's for travel purposes.
Yeah.
That's why they do it, because you can't get the information out of public health within 3 days, because Hawaii wants within 3 days. Right, you have to get a negative test within 3 days and post that on the Hawaii Travel Gov thing. That doesn't work if you're doing the government testing. So you need to have something at another facility, which you have to pay for. And we kind of went through
GHRA,
that.
what Mary Rhodes was mentioning in the Post, is they're going to offer. It looked like $25 fee that would be applied for employees who go and get tested.
GRH,
So
with
AMC
AMC testing
and
site.
GHRA.
Well, there's a huge amount of profit in this. I mean, a company like Express Care, they'll buy these tests for I think it's like $8 or something like that. You buy the actual PCR tests, right? And then, you can charge whatever you want to charge because people want them. They have to have them for travel. So you can charge whatever you feel like charging. I mean, nothing against Express Care. I mean, it's a service.
It's a business.
It's a business. It's a valuable service. You need to have it within 3 days. And, they've been the only game in town.
And there are administrative costs. I mean, there's people that you have to employ to have them
I'm nothing against them at all. Okay, I've used their service and gladly paid for it, and it's fine. But if GHRA and maybe at that point Guam contractors and the chamber all get together and decide that they can do this thing cheaper for their members than like $25, that's a big deal.
Does insurance cover it? Can you apply it to your insurance?
I haven't tried. I haven't been tested. And I'm not, because I don't want to have to. I don't have to want to struggle through this particular management nightmare. But I get an employee. Let's say that we're in one of these companies, and an employee comes to me and says, "Okay, I've decided I'm going to go get tested." When I send him off to Scamper to go get tested, who pays for that? Is that still company time? Because now he has to do this as part of the arrangement for working for me.
Yep.
Am I covered the time while he is waiting in the room or in the car waiting for the test?
The answer is yes, I think.
7:26 in the morning. That's there's one more expense to some of these businesses that are really, really struggling to stay afloat these days.
Yeah, one other thing I want to bring up. You've made some good points. One other thing, they got 96 doses of monoclonal antibodies in. They ran out last week, and they got 96 doses in. That was reported yesterday in the Guam Daily Post.
Okay.
That's going to go pretty quickly,
I think,
with the numbers that we're seeing. So my question would be for public health, and maybe you can ask Janella the next time you speak with her.
I've already asked her one question that I'm waiting on an answer for.
Okay.
What
so
else?
if you ask her this, how often are they ordering? How often are they renewing the order? Because 96 doses of monoclonal antibodies may be only good for 2 to 3 days, depending with the number of cases that are coming up. Might only be good for a day or two. So, I mean, do they have regular orders in for these things, and are we going to have enough and not run out anymore? I think that's a question because the monoclonal antibodies do a better job of curbing the spread, do a better job of preventing people from going to the hospital than do the vaccines.
Yes, it seems like an effective treatment.
And they're pretty expensive, but the feds pay for everything. So the idea is, are they regularly ordering these things so people that want them and need them can have them and not be subject to the problems that ensue if you don't?
7:28 in the morning. Jerry Roberts in the Extra Point. We get into it real quick. Brought to you by Guahan Insurance Services and the team over at First Hawaiian Bank, where it all starts with. Yes, Jerry?
Today, some cool things and hot news about cold showers. If you're doing them, you're reaping the benefits. If you're not, you probably should. And if you're saying, there is no way I can do that. Cold water?
Right here.
No, can't do that. I might have the answer for you. That's coming next on the Extra Point.
Raise your glasses for a toast because First Hawaiian Bank now turns your meals into a reason to celebrate. Every dollar you spend on dining purchases, including fast food, earns you up to 3 times United miles. Simply use your First Hawaiian Bank United credit card and start reaping the most rewarding credit card experience on island. Terms and restrictions apply. Don't have a First Hawaiian Bank credit card? Visit any branch or FHB.com to apply today. With First Hawaiian Bank, it all starts with yes.
When's the last time you looked at your homeowner's insurance?
A homeowner's policy protects much more than just your house. It also protects you against claims from someone being hurt on your property. If a visitor is injured at your place, how much are you covered for? The smart thing to do is get the answer today.
That's the Insurance Extra Point. Get out there and make something good happen today by calling Guahan Insurance Services at 475-1162 or visit us at the Camacho Landmark Center in Tamuning.
We previously talked about the benefits of cold showers. People who take them swear by the incredible feeling they have and the benefits one gets from getting their freeze on in the bathroom. Well, let's go over the upsides. I began to dig on the internet to see if there was additional data available from the last time that we talked about these things. I scoured numerous sites which discuss cold showers. Here's what I found. Number 1, you'll be wide awake and ready to take on the day. 2, it's easier to control your emotions if you take cold showers. This is what it says. Number 3, you'll gain greater willpower. 4, reduced stress levels. 5, a more, and this is important, a more robust immune response. Scientific studies have found that taking a cold shower increases the amount of white blood cells in the body. These blood cells protect against diseases. Researchers believe that this process is related to an increased metabolic rate, which stimulates the immune response. There's more. A cold shower drains the lymphatic system. This helps to remove cellular waste and protects the body from infections. This lymphatic system regularly becomes blocked by toxins, chemicals, and environmental effects. When that happens, dead cells and cell waste build up in the body. The immune system can't work effectively, and you're more likely to suffer from a common cold, for example. Let me be clear. I'm not saying that a cold shower will prevent a coronavirus infection. However, the data shows that cold showers help strengthen the immune system overall. Number 6, weight loss. Research has shown that cold showers and exposure to cold in general helps in losing weight, as the body has to heat up to compensate for the drop in temperature. Well, the heating up makes you burn calories. Number 7, hair and skin look better. If you're on Facebook right now and you're looking in, you can see it's really worked on me. Okay. Number 8, you see a boost in circulation. 9, muscle recovery takes less time. 10, testosterone and fertility are boosted. And number 11, you sleep better. Now, when I first discussed cold showers, maybe 2 years ago, a woman stopped me at a store and said she just couldn't do it. Just the thought of cold water on her body gave her the chills. She wanted to know if there was another way. I told her, well, if I ever found one, I'd put it here on the Extra Point. And I just discovered a possible alternative yesterday. I learned the brain has a barrier to keep certain harmful substances away from the neural, N-E-U-R-A-L, neural tissue. However, this barrier gets leaky as we get older, allowing important stuff to leak out and toxic stuff to get in. Apparently, the cold shower is a great way to improve this barrier's quality. Get a bucket of some sort, fill it with cold water, add ice to the extent that you can handle it, and dip your head into it. I kid you not. This is up on the web, and people are saying they've done it, okay, and they get some benefits from it. Is it as good as a cold shower? I tend to think it's not, but you'll get brain benefits from it, and maybe more. Now, I'm not sure if the testosterone and fertility booster comes along with a bucket plunge, but you can try it and let us know. So for those who can't go with the cold shower, maybe you can get some benefits in that fashion. And now, all this comes with a disclaimer. For some people, there is a risk associated with cold showers. If you have heart disease, your body's reaction to cold water puts added stress on your heart and could lead to an irregular heartbeat or arrhythmia. Talk to your doctor before you do this. In my particular shower, the water doesn't get really hot or really cold. If yours does, I have another suggestion. Alternate hot and cold for 30 seconds to a minute, several times each. Then go cold for 3 to 5 minutes. The stimulation factor is multiplied that way. So, if you're sold, go cold. That's the extra point. Be responsible and make something good happen today. For 93.3, The Ray Gibson Show, Guahan Insurance Services, and First Hawaiian Bank. I'm Jerry Roberts.
All right, so you found a couple of workarounds. I'm probably not going to do the thing with the plunge.
Find a bucket, put your head in the bucket, see what happens.
You see now, you just every once in a while will come out with something out of this from left field here because you believe that somebody in our listening audience will try it.
I think you could try it.
This sounds like one of those pranks here.
No,
it doesn't.
No.
You know what? I volunteer Real Joe to try it out.
Sure, right away.
You got a bucket at home?
I have many buckets.
Oh, you got a bucket.
Yes, I got a pot.
Fill the bucket with cold water. Throw in. Go to the mom and pop.
All right.
Go get some ice.
Yeah.
Put it in there, and then just stand over the thing and dip your head into it and keep it in there for a few minutes, and then pull it out and then do it again. Let us know how it works out.
I will.
This guy, when he was J.Q. Fanihi on the radio, he was a guy one day told everybody to take their phone and put it in a plastic bag because that was the day that GTA was blowing out the lines and they didn't want to get any dust into the house. And thousands of people all over Guam listening said, "Well, okay, if the guy on the radio said to put your phone in a bag to keep the dust from the telephone lines when they blow them out to keep it off from your
put your phone in the plastic bag and you will feel the plastic bag."
7:35 in the morning. That's Jerry Robert and today's unbelievable extra point. But give it a shot. At least the variable thing. He says, "Yeah, just you know what, play around with it." And I'm thinking, wait, what are you talking about now? But the knobs in the bathroom, play around with that and alternate between cold and hot and see how that works for you.
Stimulation factor is off the scale. If you have hot water and cold water, really hot and really cold, if you're one of those people that's lucky enough to have that, do it. Hot and cold alternating. Wow.
You know, I can talk to your landlord if you want. If this is also a desperate plea to get some attention from the landlord to fix the hot water heater. We'll see what we can work out. You know what? Maybe it's just and this should be done from time to time anyway, depending on how old your hot water heater is. Yeah. It is possible that the little element on the inside has now been covered over with some of the rock and sediment that GTA or GWA puts into the system. So it is possible, and I've seen this before because I've done it before, is there's a little wrench that you can buy over at the Home Depot or Benson or wherever that will allow you to get in and unhook that element, that heating element, pull it out. You'd be surprised at how much crud it is. The more crud it is, the harder it is to get hot.
Oh.
Because it's surrounded by the crud.
I learned something coming in here
so
today.
you pull the thing out, and you can buy replacements for them for absolutely nothing. Stick them back in, and you would be surprised, number one, how fast the water gets hot when you put the thing in, and number two, you'd be surprised at how much that will impact your power bill because you're not drawing high amps over a longer period of time to make that heating element hot. It'll still get hot with the stuff on it. It'll get hot faster if you've got a new one. 7:37 in the morning. Jerry Roberts in the Extra Point. Now we'll jump into some news and headlines with Montesilva Tire. This is all being brought to you by the guys over at Auntie Lolita Camet of Remax Diamond Realty. That's the lady you hear about in the ads on Payless. Find her for your real estate needs at 688-6743. Also being brought to you by Burger King, the home of the new Garlic and Bacon King. Waiting for you. I've had one or two of these things, and a vegan friend of mine just raving about the Impossible Whopper over the the weekend. So find that over at Burger King. Also being brought to you by Ken and Karen over at Top End Pest Control for all of your pest control needs. It's for, you can teach them. They got gizmos here. Teach your bugs how to do the Macarena. Or maybe you just want them dead. Right? Either or. 487-5657. Now with the news, here's Monticello Tyron.
Well, police are investigating a fatal crash that took place on Saturday. The accident claimed the life of a 29-year-old woman. 2 other women were injured in that crash. Police are investigating, looking to determine the cause of that. Meanwhile, check out Candid News. They are doing a GoFundMe for the driver of that vehicle. The family is trying to raise some money to pay for her funeral expenses. Meanwhile, the governor has allowed the FY 2022 budget to lapse into law this weekend. It sets the budget for the government of Guam at $937 million. Meanwhile, this week, the Department of Revenue and Taxation says people should start receiving the first of the RISE Act payments that went out. They sent the payments over to the Department of Administration, and a lot of them, more than half of them that have applied and have been approved, will be getting their payments through a direct deposit. Meanwhile, there were 85 new cases out of 651 people who were tested on Saturday. 4 more deaths, bringing us now to 159 deaths. Now, the increase in COVID cases has resulted in travelers from 9 countries, including Guam, being temporarily barred from the Philippines starting yesterday. That ban goes into effect and continues all the way up until September 18th. And those are your top stories here on The Point.
That's fine. I didn't want to go to the Philippines anyway. There's nothing I need there. There's nothing I need. I don't need Shake Shack or Tipsy Pig or Zara. Or that cool, what's the name of the bookstore at the end of BGC?
Oh, Barnes & Noble?
No, well, I don't think it's a Barnes & Noble. I think it's
National? Is it a National?
You know what? All of a sudden, I can't remember the name of it, but I remember spending a lot of time in there. You know, and you know what the last thing I ever bought from that store was?
A book?
A 2020 calendar. A 2020 planning
well, that'll
calendar.
teach you.
Oh my God! Yeah. I mean, because you're somebody on Guam, and always somebody will send you a Calvos or Aeon or the Bang of Guam will send you a calendar or something like that to get you started. But I was in Manila, and I thought, you know what, I wanted to get a particular kind of desk calendar. And they've got all kinds. There's people you can go and buy yourself a religious calendar, which will give you a different piece of scripture every day, or something to help, as Jerry knows, help guide and give your worship a little bit of intention. Same thing, they got the same thing, motivational calendars. David, what do you got? Calendars from with trivia on it. Anyway, so I wanted one in particular, and it took me a while to find exactly the one that I wanted for 2020, and I think I've probably got about a week's worth of stuff.
I think if you wait long enough, all of the days will line up with the year. Maybe
yeah. This will be good again. Our 2020 calendars with desk calendar will be good again, and I think 2027 or 2028. 20 away from 8 o'clock in the morning. The Ray Gibson Show continues after this word from our friends over at Beyond the Box, and Beyond the Box time is 7:41. They have got you covered. Everything that you need. iPads. We've got the big iPads, little iPads, AirTags, and Apple TVs. And I think when you get to Apple TV, it also comes with a subscription to some of the Apple shows. At least that's how I've been able to enjoy a program that I will recommend for you. For some of you, it might cost a couple of bucks, but find a way to watch Ted Lasso. We've talked about Ted Lasso before, and there's already a season in the can, and there's a new season that they're working on. Every Friday afternoon, you'll get a blurb that says, hey, there's a new Ted Lasso episode on, and I highly encourage it. Very, very positive kind of program. There's not a whole lot of finger wagging and wokeness in it, and it's something that I think you're going to enjoy. Find it with your Apple TV. Beyond the Box, and you can find them on the first floor of the Micronesia Mall Center Court, right next to GameStop. BK's new Garlic and Bacon King is now available. 2 quarter-pound fire-grilled beef patties topped with creamy mayonnaise, smoky bacon, 2 American cheese, and crispy garlic pieces on a warm toasted sesame seed bun. Make this a meal with French fries or onion rings and a refreshing Coca-Cola. Get your hands on our new Garlic and Bacon King for a limited time only. Burger King, Hagutnya, Tumon Bay, Micronesia Mall, and the airport. BK your way.
Becoming a homeowner can be a scary scary process. But it doesn't have to be, especially if you have the right guidance. Break through your fears and go to a real estate professional that will ensure a higher chance of success. That person is Lolita Cammett of RE/MAX Diamond Realty. Lolita also specializes in commercial leasing, land sales, local residential sales leasing, and military and corporate relocation. Don't be afraid. Call Lolita Cammett from RE/MAX Diamond Realty at 688-6743. That's 688-6743.
But what happens? 7:42 in the morning. Portions of the program brought to you by the guys over at Chili's. Now, this is just like me. I've got the Chili's thing right in front of me, and then I move my paperwork, so I got to actually go and find the thing again. But it'll be worth it. It will be worth it for me to give you an opportunity to learn what it is that they're up to over at Chili's. There it is. And they've got the 2-for-1 dining, and you might be going, whoa, 2 for 1? Really? We can do that? You know, in the day and age where the cost of everything is going up, we're getting a deal. Yes, you are over at Chili's. Full-on meal deal, 2 for just $35. Starts with a couple of Coke beverages and an appetizer that you get to share, and 2 mouth-watering entrees. The sizzling personal fajitas, mouth-watering honey chipotle steak and shrimp, or the world-famous fall-off-the-bone baby back ribs. Chili's, 2 for dining, available for a limited time. Dine in today, or because they get it. Not everybody's in the same status. 648-7377 and make your order to go. Find them on the second floor of the Tumon Sands Plaza. Chili's, savor the moment.
Top End Pest Control is who you call for all your pest control needs. Got a problem with roaches, ants, spiders, rodents, fleas, ticks, termites? No problem. They do it all. Top End Pest Control is a service-disabled, veteran-owned small business and HubZone certified. Serving Guam since 2012. Call them today for a quote, 487-5657, or email topendpest@gmail.com. Check them out on Facebook at Top End Pest Control and give them a like. Top End Pest Control for all your pest control needs.
Did I gaslight you, bro? I did. I
You totally did.
No, because I got the chief of the fire department on the line. I got and he's just, Real Joe just types out Chief Stone.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, what's his first name? And Joe's like, Daniel. I said, are you sure?
I am.
So
man.
how did you confirm?
I went to Facebook. He's there.
7:45 in the morning. And here's the noise from the traffic. Not a whole lot going on because there's nothing going on Guam. Most of the kids are staying at home these days unless they're going to Dodea. Otherwise, it's just intersection traffic. Big Navy and Sumai Anderson Air Force Base got a little bit of that going on. Might even see a little bit of traffic getting into Navy and Guam High. Otherwise, as I said, intersection traffic from Isang Song and intersection of 1 and 3, 1 and 16 and 16 and 8 and 10 and all of those guys that are running a little bit busy this morning, but nothing to write home about. 7:45, that's your right now traffic. This is The Point.
As we get back to business, Docomo Pacific is ready to keep you connected. Introducing Business Bundles Plus. Build a customized bundle with the right internet, mobile, TV, and phone plan for your business. Pay for exactly what you need and nothing you don't. And the more services you add, the more you save. Plus, you can rely on Docomo Pacific's fastest, most reliable network and 24/7 customer support. So build your own bundle and save today with Business Bundles Plus. Call 671-688-2677. Docomo Pacific Business. Work better together.
Contact Express Financial for all your financial needs. Express Financial is consumer lending at its very best. They also have a host of dealer service programs with quick approvals. There are 3 ways to apply. Over the phone at 637-9834. You may visit their office in person at 600 Harmon Loop Road across the street from Costules. Or you can also visit their webpage and apply at myexpressfinancial.com. In most cases, you'll get your money the same day.
How about which one? 7:46 in the morning. And a reminder that KFC has got the best chicken sandwich in the world. I mean, it's KFC, right? And so what they've got is they've got this great bread. And I love the way they've stacked this thing up. Now, amateurs would go out there and say, put the pickles on top. Put the pickles on. No. KFC guys, no. Here's what we want to do. We want to have the pickles on the bottom. And then we'll have that and some great sauces in there. And, of course, the star is about a quarter pound of KFC chicken fried up exactly the way you like that. Put that on a brioche bun on the top, and you are good to go. We had a chance to try this like Thursday last week, and I've been craving for it ever since. Take advantage of my craving nature and find a KFC near you. In fact, they'll deliver it. 300 FAST with KFC. 7:47 in the morning. If you're looking for something to celebrate, today is Jacqueline Bissette's birthday. Jackie Bissett is turning 77 years old. Some of you will remember her 1977 movie classic. At least I think it was 1977. A movie that scared a hell of a lot of people out of the water. It was called The Deep, and made famous because and I think was the precursor to quite a number of wet T-shirt contests down in the Tumon area for a number of years. Inspired by her performance in that movie, which was actually pretty good. You can also see a very young Jacqueline Bissett in Casino Royale. Not the old one.
Yeah.
With David Niven and et cetera, et cetera. Anyway, so try that out if you get a chance. If you're wondering what that particular fox looked like in the 70s, right there, some great pictures of Jacqueline Bissett. 7:48 in the morning, but it was Lou Gossett. It was Lou Gossett. And I don't want to, for anybody who hasn't seen the movie, Lou Gossett was the guy that got his head caved in by a gigantic moray eel.
Oh, wow.
Did you ever watch the movie The Deep?
Yes.
Okay, I totally ended it. I totally threw a spoiler in there, but it's worth watching again and again and again. 7:48 in the morning. Chief Dan Stone from the Guam Fire Department. Buenos Gen Hafade.
Hafade, good morning, Ray. How are you?
I'm okay. Hey, Dan. I'm good. Mana said that's how we're supposed to say your name, Dan.
Yes.
How about that? 7:48. So I got a couple of notes the other day that said that the 911 system was down, and I eventually got some notes that said the 911 system was back up. But here it is Monday morning, and a lot of people got crazy stuff in their heads. So the question is, what happened with the 911 system, and how'd you get it back up? Did you just Control Alt Delete restart everything?
Well, I'm sure that's one of the troubleshooting steps that took place. But no, I appreciate the question. So what wound up happening the other day with our 911 system is our telephone lines were having some difficulty, some challenges with a fast busy signal, which obviously when we our call takers monitor the system, they identified it and immediately contacted our comms personnel. Who tried to come over to, not tried, they immediately went over to the call center and tried to do their level of troubleshooting first before they call the telephone provider.
Yeah.
Went through that process. Unfortunately, we weren't able to reset the system with that, taking those steps. So we contacted the telephone provider, telco provider, and they went ahead and did their troubleshooting as well. So basically, at the end of the day, we were briefed that they were able to make the necessary repairs to the telephone lines, and we were back up in service. I think it was about 2.5 hours later, because it took repairing some lines, from what I understand.
Oh, wow.
Correct. It was because our telephone lines, they're some of our lines are a little bit older, and so they require some maintenance. And so it's my understanding that's what took place for this one. And we appreciate the fact that our telco provider immediately prioritized.
Well, you can say their name if you want to. It's okay with me.
Yeah, GTA.
Okay. So no, because I know the guys over at GTA. So they heard there was a problem, went out and started putting some fire on it, and got it going again.
Absolutely, yes, you're absolutely right.
Okay.
And we appreciate the fact that they're very responsive and they place priority on that particular call.
Well, this is 911. I mean, if they got in trouble, who are they going to call if they can't get a hold of 911? 9 away from the top of the hour, Chief Stone from the Guam Fire Department. So I'm glad to hear that the system has been restored. Hopefully, the whatever connections that they corrected won't require any further work down the road. And it seems to me that we're changing all that stuff out anyway, which leads me to part two of the query call here is what's happening with the purchase of the new E911 system. Seems to me that all the paperwork has been signed. You've sent your team out to go and work with the provider. I'm told from Bob Kelly, who's my telecom genius, that the company that you're working with is they're actually pretty good when it comes to these 911 systems. So where are we in the installation of our new G-Wiz 911?
No, I really appreciate you asking that question, Ray, because we're very excited about our next-gen 911 solution that we're getting ready to acquire. And you're on point. Your information is correct in that we are working with our vendor, who is Taito Athene, is the company, who has a lot of experience and a lot of success in this particular arena. And we just met with them this past week to do a preliminary meet and greet and kind of trying to set up those the sequence of events for our phasing of installation, transferring of services, things of that nature. So we're very excited about that, and we're actually in the process of setting that schedule, and that's where we're at this present moment. So we will have several more meetings over the next couple of weeks to solidify and firm up those dates. And not to put a definitive date on it, but we are projecting to try and go live with our phase one portion sometime May, June timeframe.
That's next year. What's wrong with January? How long does it take?
Nothing wrong with January, but it is a process, and unfortunately, I don't own that process. That's with the vendor, and so we're very excited about that because it could have been a year later, and so we're good. We're happy with May.
All right, so we're launching it. I'm just going to call it. We're going to try to get this new 911 system launched around my birthday. Not to give you a deadline, but May 11th. I think that would make a great birthday present for me and the people of Guam, is to give me a brand new, as I said, G-Wiz 911 system and bring that into town. Now, obviously, you got to work with the telcos, and in this case, it's not just GTA because you will need to have interfaces with every customer and every kind of phone that is out there. And not all of them are the same kind of wire. Some of them are going to be coming in on digital lines through IT&E or Docomo or GTA. Some of it is going to be coming in with fiber, and some of it's going to be coming in on copper pair. And there's a whole lot, I'm sure, that goes into constructing a matrix so that all of the phone systems and all of the users of those systems can integrate with that 911 system. So, are you meeting with anybody from the phone companies these days to get them all prepped and ready?
Well, let me tell you something, Ray. I'm very impressed with the level of knowledge you have on that. You're spot on, my friend. So we have not re-engaged in discussions with all the telcos yet. We did have previous discussions, and probably last year, or I'm sorry, the year before that. However, they did have an ask, and we want to absolutely work with the telephone companies. They did have an ask as we got closer to the acquisition, as we got closer to setting up those schedules. Once we were able to firm those up, that we would re-engage with them, let them know what the timelines are so that they can try to work their side of their system, kind of in tandem with the whole effort. And so once I get to that point, I will re-engage with our telephone companies, and we'll sit down and we'll have that discussion. And I'm very comfortable with the fact that we're all going to make sure this absolutely is 100% operational.
Well, and I'm sure that there's guys in the telecom companies that are excited about working with this. I mean, it's not every day that you get an opportunity to be playing around with next generation technology from someplace else. So all of those interfaces they're going to be people and teams that will be working to make those interfaces work within the different companies. And like I said, here comes somebody going, "Hey, you want to play with some new technology?" And for me, the answer is always yes when it comes down to that. Hey, I got my buddy Bob Kelly on the line. If I sound like I've been paying attention to somebody and have a wealth of knowledge on it, it's because I do spend some time with Bob Kelly, who is, as far as I know, might be the only guy on Guam that carries certification on a going basis to be able to talk in 911Es. Good morning, Bob. You're on with Chief Dan Stone from the fire department.
Yeah, two questions. About 7-8 months ago, there was a request out for a new fire station in Sinahania from HUD funded, and a substantial part of that was for a second floor to be a PSAP. Are you waiting for that to do the installation? Or are you going to install in your current location, or is there a third location you intend to use as an interim for the PSAP?
Wow.
Well, Alfred, Bob, thank you for that question. So there is the effort in this with the Sinahania site as far as our GURA project that we're working with, and we're very excited about that particular project for good reason. We need a new fire station in Sinahania because the existing fire station we've definitely outgrown, and it's past its service life. So the ask was to see if we can potentially at that site build a second floor to the Sinahania fire station. However, to answer your question, that is not going to be our showstopper. We are going to continue with the next gen install. We are happy that we will be moving out of our current location once the system goes completely operational. So it is a two-pronged approach. We have a phase one, which is going to build out what will eventually become our primary call center in a new location. They'll build that out first. Once they build that out, They will be able to transfer the operations from our current location to the new location seamlessly with no interruption. And then once we've done that and we've moved operations to the new primary location, hope that's not too confusing, they will build out what will now turn into our secondary location in the event the primary does go down. So we have some redundancies that we're going to have built into it.
Interesting.
Okay, so summary on that, there'll be a new location. Is there going to be a bid going out for real estate for a new location, or has one been chosen? Because certainly you want to make sure, if possible, you have redundant
everything double hardened, power and UPSs. You got to make sure that you.
So the question is, do you have a place chosen? Is there going to be an RFP going out, or how are you choosing that place for your new PSAP?
No, thanks, Bob. So the RFP already had gone out. It's closed, and we've actually awarded the location. So we do have a place identified, and Taito actually walked the space to get the lay of the land, so to speak. And they're going to be working with their sub vendor to help with the build out. So they've got that's all in the plans. Yes.
Can you tell us where?
Is the second floor of the Senahanya off the table now?
Not off the table, but because, as I'm sure you're aware, that's a lengthier process. So in the interim, we're going to continue with this acquisition, and we'll lease out some space. And as we get closer to hopefully getting that second floor on the Senahanya Fire Station project, we will reevaluate and see if and move those operations up there.
Okay, one more question. How soon before you're going to be meeting with the telecom companies? Because I know we had the phase 1, 2 letters and stuff, which we knew the GFD wasn't going to be ready for the 911. And, of course, the push was to wait so everybody could make a one-time investment and not have a stranded investment on switch software to interface. And the NG 911 systems takes different software. Of course, you have to have the SNet and other types of connectivity and so on in place before this goes. When will there be a discussion with the telecom folks so they at least can start preliminarily planning what they need to be talking to their switch vendors about for the installation of the software?
You want to talk about your high-altitude questions. All right, we'll see what we can get in the next 10 or 15 seconds, which is all we've got left from Dan. What do you think, Dan?
So we will have that discussion here shortly. I know the ask from the telco companies for the most part was once we get to that point where we have a scheduling that we would re-engage with them, and so I want to hold to that promise of doing that. As soon as we get that scheduling, I will set that meeting so that we can have the telcos meet with our vendor, and then they can have that discussion.
So not yet is the answer, but as I said, you want to talk about your high-level conversations. That one there is one of those interface with every single one of the telco companies that they have been looking for some kind of an answer for or a date for quite some time. Just after 8 o'clock in the morning. Bob, I'll talk to you soon. Dan, I appreciate your time. And if we had more time, I was asking about how you guys are doing. How many of your guys have got COVID-19 or not COVID-19 or been vaccinated from COVID-19? Are you getting any pushback from among the guys over at the fire company on any of the mandates from the governor?
Well, no, and I'm very proud of the fact that I can tell you out of our 231 employees, we have about 213 so we have about 19 uniform personnel that are still unvaccinated for different reasons, whether it's a choice, a medical reason, and or they're prior positives or whatever the case may be. We respect that choice. But no, I have not gotten any pushback from the field. As a matter of fact, we've been doing our weekly testing since last month, even ahead of the executive order timeline, and they've been very compliant with it. I think by and large they understand the value of it and the importance of it, and so and they want to continue pressing on with the mission. And so that's about 92% of our uniformed firefighters. I got about 88% of our EMD, our medical dispatchers, fully vaccinated, and 100% of our support staff.
Interesting. Mana's asking about testing when it comes up. Who will be paying for that? Will that be GFD paying for the tests for the guys and the time that it takes?
the testing is free, and we do perform it at the authorized government locations, which is 2 of our fire stations, 1 in the north, 1 in the south.
Gotcha. Dan, I wish you had more time. We'll talk again soon, my friend. But we'll get together for my big birthday party featuring the switching on of the 911 system. 8:02 in the morning. Fox News Live's already playing on the point.
Every Monday, join me, Brett Baer, chief political anchor and executive editor of Special Report, and my rotating all-star panel of experts as we discuss the policies, practices, and solutions to the biggest and most important issues of the day. You can hear new episodes every Monday. Subscribe now at foxnewspodcast.com or wherever you download podcasts.
The Fox News Rundown is a weekday morning podcast that dives deep into the major and controversial stories of the day. Hosted by the anchors of Fox News Radio. Subscribe now to hear a perspective of news you won't find anywhere else. Listen now by going to foxnewspodcasts.com.
A weekend of developments toward restarting the Iran nuclear talks.
Iran has agreed to allow international inspectors to put new memory cards in the United Nations security cameras at its nuclear sites. The cameras will also be permitted to continue filming. But the recordings will remain in Iran, and it's unclear whether the older recordings will be turned over to the international nuclear watchdog. The decision comes after Mohammad Eslami, the country's new nuclear chief, met with the head of the International Atomic Energy Agency this weekend. Tehran continues enriching uranium close to weapons grade, and so far negotiations to resume the 2015 Iran nuclear talks with the United States remain stalled. Jessica Stone, Fox News.
Epic Games is appealing a federal judge's decision in a lawsuit alleging that Apple has been running an illegal monopoly that stifles competition. The maker of the popular Fortnite video game said in a court filing today it will take the ruling to the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals in San Francisco. A federal judge Friday ordered Apple to dismantle a lucrative part of the competitive barricade guarding its iPhone App Store, but rejected Epic's allegation that Apple ran a monopoly. Some people have all the luck, like a lottery winner in North Carolina. More from Fox's Paul Stevens.
You'll probably understand why Terry Splawn of Concord, North Carolina, has a favorite spot to buy state lottery tickets. Splawn's recent $20 scratch-off ticket purchased at Sam's Mini Stop in Concord produced a $100,000 win, or about $71,000 after taxes. Now, back in April of 2017, Splawn bought a ticket from Sam's and won $1 million. And almost 2 years later, he went to the same store again, and yes, you guessed it, he bought another scratch-off ticket, and he won another $1 million prize. Paul Stevens, Fox News.
And I'm Joe Chiro, Fox News.
When making the new Kentucky Fried Chicken sandwich, people asked how I felt about burger places selling fried chicken. I'd say that's none of my business, just like making fried chicken is none of theirs. The new Kentucky Fried Chicken sandwich with mayo, pickles, and a quarter-pound filet as far as the eye can see. Get comfy, it's gonna be a while.
The new Kentucky Fried Chicken Sandwich is back for good, along with the new all-white meat KFC chicken sandwiches, Zinger, Super Deluxe, and Grilled Doublicious. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Here at Guam Auto Spot, we have the best selection in Buick, GMC, Mitsubishi, and used cars, like the 2021 Mitsubishi Mirage, as low as $127 per paycheck, 0 down. Or this 2021 Buick Encore, as low as $237 per paycheck, 0 down for 72 months. Call 478-AUTO to schedule a test drive or get pre-approved online at guamautospot.com.
Hoffaday, this is Severina. Here at APL, our expertise and extensive network can help you grow your business and reach out to more global markets. As a responsible carrier, APL is also committed to a sustainable future, whether it's protecting the environment or investing our efforts in giving back to the community. Our dedicated teams in Guam, Saipan, and on U.S. mainland are here to support you. Call 588-4651 or visit www.apl.com.
Hey, Jack. Is it true Jack in the Box has breakfast all day?
That's why we call it all-day breakfast.
And all night?
Yep.
Early evenings?
You're so close to getting it. All-day breakfast with freshly cracked eggs. Only at Jack in the Box.
Your local news is brought to you by Nambo Insurance. Skip the line, pay online. It's fast, it's easy, and it's secure. Visit Nambo.com for more information.
Alpha Day, it's 8:07. I'm Mana Silva Tyron with a look at your local news on the point. Without any action, FY 2022's budget has lapsed into law, this setting the budget for the government of Guam at $937 million. The governor, while she didn't affix her signature on that public law, she did, in a letter to the Speaker of the Legislature, point out some issues that she had with the budget. One of that was the $20 million lockbox that was placed on the $20 million lockbox placed on the surplus for tax refunds, and the legislature's failure to grant enhanced appropriations to some of the agencies. But the Speaker, standing by the bill that was passed, in a press release, she reiterated her concerns that the budget was constructed with no information from the administration regarding how it plans to spend the $600 million in American Rescue Plan funds. She also points out that it is important to make sure that residents have their tax refunds at a time when they need it the most. Meanwhile, the Department of Rev and Tax should be out this week with the first of the All Rise payments, with about 14,000 applications processed and cleared last week. Rev and Tax Director Daphne Shimizu says more than half of the applicants did elect to be paid electronically. The checks will be transmitted to the Treasurer of Guam no later than today. There were 85 new cases out of 651 people tested on Saturday. Additional results are pending analysis and should be reported on today. Our total now is at 12,379 confirmed cases of COVID-19. 4 recent deaths reported all on the same day at the Naval Hospital. A 64-year-old female, a 57-year-old man, and a male and a female who were also reported to have died as a result of COVID-19. All of the individuals did have underlying health conditions. There are 72 people in the hospital, with 7 in intensive care, 3 of those patients on ventilators. Meanwhile, travelers from 9 countries, including Guam, are being temporarily barred from entering the Philippines starting yesterday. The Philippine Bureau of Immigration says a temporary ban will continue all the way up until September 18th. We'll have more news right after this.
Go green, go solar, and save big with Nambo Insurance. When you power up your home with solar panels, Nambo Insurance will pay up to $350 toward your power bill. With Nambo, you can enjoy great savings while going green and helping to save Guam's environment. At Nambo, it pays to go green. Terms and conditions apply. Visit Nambo.com or call 477-9754 for details. Nambo Insurance, proudly serving Guam for over 50 years.
Police are investigating a fatal crash that took place on Saturday in PD. A 29-year-old woman was killed in that crash after she lost control of her Hyundai Tucson near Polaris Point. She struck a concrete utility pole. Police say that she was pronounced dead at the scene, but 2 other women were taken to the hospital with injuries. Their condition this morning isn't known. Meanwhile, police will investigate the cause of that crash. Also, police made an arrest in connection with a shooting that took place in Harmon a couple of weeks ago. They actually put out an arrest warrant for 2 people. 27-year-old Jensen Belga DeVels was picked up and arrested on charges of suspicion of attempted murder, aggravated assault, reckless conduct, and other charges. He was wanted along with another man in connection with that shooting. 31-year-old Justin Michael Dueñas still on the loose. Police also arrested a 42-year-old Wakatani Williander on suspicion of hindering apprehension. And those are your top stories here on The Point. Here's Ray with your weather.
You know, there's a segment of the program I've threatened to do from time to time, and that is the Chicks Getting in Trouble segment of the program. So I was looking at the Magistrate. I didn't print it out here this morning, but you know, you drive down south and they've got all these yards, and in the front, the very front of some of these yards is a stand where people are selling, you know, stuff that they grow in the back of the house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, apparently there was a domestic situation involving a mother and a daughter, and it sounds like and apparently I don't know if an arrest was made, but it made the magistrate report. But the mom apparently Maddock.
Oh boy.
Maddock. And so apparently the mom got mad and attacked the stand with an orange lighter and a machete. Wow. Yeah. I'll see if I can get the magistrate. If not today, then tomorrow. But there's a couple of really good Chicks Getting in Trouble story, including this one here from just a couple of days ago. The police responded to a traffic crash, Route 14 by the Bang of Guam in Tumon. This was at 5:05 in the morning.
Oh, nice.
Right? Do good things happen after midnight, Real Joe? Never. Anyway, so the cops got there, found a Mirage on top of the yellow medium facing the other direction. Cops approached and met with the operator, later identified via a passport card as Sharon Ray Foley, who appeared to be bleeding heavily from the nose area. Cops also observed the front of the vehicle sustained heavy damage on the front. They inquired if she was okay, to which she belligerently responded, "I am blanking okay." Refused medical attention. Police observed the defendant had bloodshot, watery eyes and the smell of a strong odor of an intoxicating alcoholic beverage coming from upon her person. Police requested the defendant to exit her vehicle, which she refused numerous times. Due to her being uncooperative and for safety purposes, a standard field sobriety test could not be conducted on the scene. They attempted to take her out of the vehicle, where the defendant grabbed the steering wheel with her right hand tightly. Police were able to escort the defendant outside of her vehicle, where she started to kick back with her feet numerous times, nearly kicking police. She was then transported to the Tumon precinct, where she refused to submit a breath, urine, or blood test. Upon investigation, it appeared the defendant lost control, collided with the raised median barrier, traveling approximately 10 feet on the top of the median before coming to a stop. So busted for driving while impaired, reckless driving while impaired, and ticking off the cops. I think its own, right? Isn't that? There's a separate charge under Title IX for ticking off the police, Sharon Ray Foley. And I figured that was September 8th. It's now the 13th. You suppose there's a sober version of her listening to the broadcast going, "Oh, crap, they caught me."
Morning, ma'am.
Hi, what did your lawyer say? 8:13 in the morning. It's in the Magistrate Reports, and I'll see what else I can find for you. I did want to put this up on the screen while you're, what is that? There's a new smell in the studio. It smells like watermelon. Is it?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Someone in the bathroom. Yeah, something.
Really? Is it the bathroom?
It's coming from the bathroom. Because all the smells that happen in there, they come here.
Normally,
Straight to me,
but I'm smelling it. It smells like something come out of Mana's purse.
Oh,
it's interesting.
Fried chicken.
Normally, yeah. 8:14. Okay, so Mana sends me this here. Guam Farmers Market's got a pickup coming up. It's one of those deals where it's $20 a bag. Yes, you sent it to me. Okay. You sent it to the family chat, and I took it from there because I thought maybe this was something very important to you on a personal nature, and you wanted to share it with the listeners.
I didn't actually send it, but I know somebody who did.
Okay, so the Guam Farmers Market's got a pickup coming up day after tomorrow. It's going to be Wednesday from noon until 6 p.m. $20 gets you a bunch of cooking bananas, eggplants, bean sprouts, calamansi, long beans, and cucumbers. While supplies last. Again, this is going to be taking place at the Farmers Co-op up in Daytadoo.
How many of those things could you put in Tinactac?
All of it. There is not one thing that I cannot
put into the banana.
You can put the bananas in there. You fry it up, and you just get just a little bit of starchy flavor or something like that.
In lieu of meat.
Yeah. What's it? Ken Leon Guerrero and Dave Sablon will give me a keto recipe for most of that stuff that's in there. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe you could put everything in except the cooking bananas and save that for a dessert. You can maybe a little bit of sweeten it up.
Great. Cucumber salad.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Now it's possible that they might run out of some of the stuff, but they'll swap in something else, like I don't know, marijuana or something from up at the Farmers Co-op for just $20 again between noon and 6 at the Farmers Co-op up in Dededo. 8:15 in the morning. Is that Senator?
That's the Senator Frank Bloss Jr.
Is the one Republican that I've heard from anywhere that it seems to have something to say about this. Like him and Ronna are the only two Republicans that I've heard from that want to do something about Biden, or at least say something about the president dementia and the thing that came out on Friday. The thing about the thing. See, now I'm starting to talk like him. I'll be right back.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they'll continue to be there for you in the years to come. Whether you're looking to get a personal loan for that summer staycation or paying off those long overdue bills, Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $3,900 by calling Family Finance. Agana 475-4545, Upper Tumon at 647-5626, or in Dededo at 633-4473. Family Finance, serving the people of Guam since 1959.
Everyone has a busy schedule these days, and sometimes we forget to schedule our routine dental checkup and cleaning. Don't neglect your dental health. Schedule one today with Dr. Robert Yang and his Smile Team, conveniently located at the East West Business Center on Marine Drive, Upper Tumon. Call us today at 647-8702 or 3. Again, that's 647-8702 or 647-8703. We make smiles happen.
They do. It's 8:17 in the morning. Take care with their high-quality health plans and services. Are supported by a global network of providers. They're your trusted partner for your health care solutions. If you are a member of the Government of Guam Employees and Retirees, the recommendation is that you choose Take Care, Our Island, your health plan. Ray Gibson Show also brought to you by APL American President Lines, a global presence with our local home.
It's the Ray Gibson Show.
Oh, that guy.
Morning talk that matters. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
I see you, Joe. Actually, it's Jose. Multiple Jose's on this morning. I got Jose Tepago. I got Jose Martinez. Ray, with the Vax verification cards issue, what is the solution for those who contracted COVID and recovered from their natural immune system? Is there a card for that? I highly doubt that our Governor Physicians Advisory Group and legislature had thought that far ahead, which is terrible. I don't know that anybody's thought that far ahead. I don't. As far as it seems like the world is now divided into two subsets of humans. We are either vaccinated, in which case you fly. You fly with angels. You walk amongst heroes. If you are a vaccinated individual, or you are unvaccinated, in which case you are selfish. You are lower than pond scum vermin and vectors. How dare you not care for your fellow man? Even the vaccine. President Biden comes out the other day and says, we've got to protect the vaccinated. That's why unvaccinated people have got to get the vaccine. And my question is, if the vaccine works, then who cares whether I'm vaccinated or not? Why do you care? What's the big deal? And it's got, my gosh, that's a great vaccine here. Then we're already looking for the booster shots now for everybody that's been vaccinated. It will never end until we say it's got to stop. So as I said, when Biden made those pronouncements on Friday, it occurs to me that we live in a nation of laws. Not necessarily a nation of men. And it is possible that among the laws and the lawmakers there's going to be somebody that stands up to this and starts talking about lawyering up, as Ben Shapiro and his guys have over, what's the name of Media Watch or whatever. But what about the rest of them? It seems to me, and our friend Lee Weber does a great job in this morning's Guam Daily Post, writing an editorial about how the other branches of government, it's time that they participated in the process. 819, and one of my favorite Republicans, I should probably say he's my favorite, he's classmates, right? Yeah. Our dad's good buddies. But anyway, so my favorite Republican over at the 36th Guam legislature when Jimmy's not there. Good morning, Senator Boss. How you doing?
Thanks a lot. Good morning.
What, Darryl? What? I'm me, Darryl. Don't worry about it. It's just us. Yakking on the race. Branches of government must protect our rights. That's unbegotten from Lee Weber. And I don't normally do this except when I do it, but let me get to the end of his editorial. I'll share that with you. He says, in short, we need to restore balance with greater legislative and judicial checks on what the governor can do, including how long they can do it. To date, it seems they've been ruled to have been ruled by something called the ends justify the means form of government, like the roadblocks the governor initiated earlier in this mess. At this juncture, it is my belief that the governor is overreaching, the legislature is asleep at the wheel, and the judiciary is avoiding the subject altogether. And for the press, their responsibility of consistent and clanging oversight to protect those individual rights with their very existence seems non-existent. I hope, Lee, that I am one of the exceptions when you refer to the press. I've been trying to clang on this since the beginning. Anyway, so I've got from the legislature Frank Blas Jr. And we can talk a little bit about the editorial, but also spend a little bit of time. You were one of a handful of people that made any kind of response around here to what President Biden said last week.
Well, some of the remarks that he had made in his, his press conference, I thought was uncalled for. I get it. This consistent and continual barraging of, the vaccinated versus the unvaccinated. We don't get through catastrophes. We don't get through crisis. When we split up the troops, when we split up the nation, and we're trying to work towards a common goal here. And then, to make comments like, our patience is wearing thin.
Who do I work for here?
Yeah. Okay. You're the president of the United States, and one of the things in politics, you're not going to get 100% approval in anything that you do. But at the same time, you don't wear your emotion on your sleeve up and then vilify and ostracize, those individuals that may have legitimate reasons as to why they haven't been vaccinated. I know of a bunch of people who they're not anti-vaxxers. They want to be able to take the vaccine. It's just that when you start to now threaten people, when you start now to call them out and call them names and start to blame them for things that are going on, albeit that now you've got reports that even if you're vaccinated, you can still contract it, you can still spread it, and unfortunately you can still die from it. And when you start to do this, and you start to like you said, split up the community, what good does it do? How does it help us to get to that place where one, okay, let's live with this. We're going to have to live with this, or two, let's make it better. I think there's a number of ways that can still be employed, so that we can help to bring these numbers down. But to come back and to blame this on those individuals who haven't been vaccinated, like you said earlier, I've got a couple of friends, people that I know who have since contracted COVID, have the antibodies according to their doctors and everything, can't get the vaccines, but they still can't go into the restaurants because they don't have the card. So how do we do this? I think that we've got to stop from all this name calling. We've got to stop from all this threatening that's happening here, and let's go back to let's work together. Let's encourage so that we can work together and address some of the concerns, and then deal with some of the concerns that we have. One of the things that I'm going to be working on this week is, okay, how do people who have these exemptions work towards now recognizing that they don't need to take the vaccine, or they can't take the vaccine.
Well, how do I get that? Wait. So we know that there are exemptions, but we don't know how to get them. I've asked Janelle. I sent a thing to her about 5 o'clock this morning, and telling her I was going to ask again, and she says she's looking into it. Let me see here. It says, does DPHS have religious exemption forms yet? I want to get mine started. I'm jealous of people eating inside. She says I'll find out. That was at 6:47. My guess is the office been open for about a half hour. Everybody's still doing their Sudoku, so maybe a little bit longer before I get an answer from somebody over at DPHSS on what it's going to take for me to apply for and receive some kind of a religious exemption, because as you know, Frank Blas, I'm one of the more devout and spiritual people that you know.
Oh yeah, you live close enough so that you can hear the bells tolled from two different churches. That's right. Anyways, but Ray, along those lines, with those exemptions, and now there's some confusion as to whether or not, okay, you've got the exemption, but you're still required to take a weekly test. And if the that those individuals who have gotten vaccinated still be able to contract the virus as well as spread it, they're not required to take a regular test as well. So
no, don't go you said that too quick. That's one of those things that needs to settle in. So if you are vaccinated, and we know this for a fact, and the governor has said so, and the president has said so, even if you were vaccinated, you can still get COVID-19. You can still give people COVID-19, but you're not required to test. How do we know that you're not somebody with a breakthrough case that is going to infect other vaccinated people and other unvaccinated people? If unvaccinated people got to get tested because they can share COVID-19, then vaccinated people, by the same logic, need to get checked as well.
And you're right. And Ray, this is a question and this concern that is not only brought up by individuals who are unvaxxed, but also those that have been vaxxed. I used the word when I made the statement. It's called infodemic. Okay, and infodemic basically is information pandemic. We've it's morphed from information, disinformation, misinformation, true information, false information, whatever it is. The problem is that as we have gone through, this whole process, this whole crisis, anytime you turn on something that's you're going to hear about COVID. You're going to hear about this or that. We've flooded our brain with so much information about pandemic that all of a sudden we've all become experts in our own right on this. And unfortunately, some individuals who are in power have become frustrated because nobody's listening to what they're saying as opposed to what everybody else is saying, and it's causing confusion. And I think that in this confusion and in this concern to be able to get through things, people who are in power, who have this ability to threaten people, go ahead and do so. And that's not right. We got to if we want to be able to get out of this, to get through this, one of the first things we got to do is stop the threatening, and start the communicating.
Oh, no, but that's how you deal with children. That's how you get children to be able to follow the rules. Is you've got to be able to scare them with taking away their internet or going to bed without dinner or whatever it is. Don't make me stop the car and get back there with you. There's got to be some kind of implied threat, or at least that's the way it has seemed around here for some time. With the news that Nate Berg now is the chair of the Physicians Advisory Group, and that Dr. Felix Cabrera is out. I'm wondering, do you consider both of those pieces of good news and maybe something that bodes for something that feels like a little bit more linear thought in the future? What do you think?
Well, I think first off, it's when you've got an individual who in the midst of a crisis finds it or has to find it convenient that we have to leave, of course there's going to be suspect as to why the individual had left. It doesn't matter, Ray. At the end of the day, one of the things that I'm sure that this administration has got to work on, as well as nationally, it's got to work on the communications. It's got to be able to work with being able to put out the proper and the right information, and that encouraging information. This in a crisis, patience is wearing thin. And guess what? Patience is always going to wear thin. It's to persevere through that.
Oh, well, if you think your patience is wearing thin, how about this from the perspective of parents? How about this from the perspective of business people that are looking for some kind of common sense response to all of this? And all we see is a bunch of people that are freaking out because the number of positive tests keeps going up. Well, we seem to be testing a hell of a lot of people these days, and so I think it's natural that we're going to see some kind of an increase in that. Yeah, we got the Delta variant, and we know that it is going to put some pressure on the hospitals, but we've had a year and a half to put our hospitals in a position where they could withstand some of those surges. And I think what's her name said that they were capable of handling a surge. So what's the panic about?
Yeah, exactly. You encourage testing. You ask people, get tested regularly. Come out and get tested. So naturally, one of the phenomena, one of the things that you should expect when you test more is you're going to find more. That's the whole purpose for it. I mean, I'm glad that more and more people are going out and getting tested, and we're finding more and more of this. Guess what? If we didn't offer any of these tests, where would we be right now? And as far as trying to figure out how to be able to combat this. Even that, Ray, let me just go on to something else that concerns me. The daily JIC report basically has a listing of those individuals that have been hospitalized, and they find painstakingly, they break it down to show the number of people who have been vaccinated, the number of people who have been unvaccinated, the number of people in ICU based on the hospital. But how many did we have last night? About 93, 97 in the last JIC report. How many of those were vaccinated and unvaccinated?
They don't tell us. I want to say the last set of numbers that we got were from August, and Janella gave me I think the percentage was still fairly low, but it was existing. It was like 30% of the people that were testing positive had already been, quote, fully vaccinated.
Yes, and so then it goes back to why is it that only the unvaccinated is required, or the unvaccinated and the exempted are required for weekly testing? What about the others? If now the efficacy of these vaccinations are coming into question. Now, when you're looking at a booster, oh, by the way, the booster is only for Pfizer. What about the boosters from those individuals who took Moderna and Johnson & Johnson? What about them?
Oh, wouldn't it? Well, then there's another cocktail of vaccinations that you can take. There's conversations where they're saying, okay, you've had Pfizer. We know that the efficacy begins to taper off here. Maybe you want to try Moderna, or maybe you want to try the Jensen and see if that works as some kind of a booster. It is going to be an interesting world that we live in. Here's the quick and dirty on all of this is I know that we're going to be bombarded with quotations and citations of the 1905 case that basically gives the powers to our government to be able to do pretty much whatever they want to. Apparently, when it comes time for pandemics and vaccinations, I don't know that, and there's got to be another venue for us to be able to fight this. Now, what's going to happen, as you know, is that the Department of Labor is going to get together with the OSHA guys. They're going to weaponize OSHA now and be able to go to shops with 100+ employees and say that all of your people need to be vaccinated. There's going to be fines that will accrue with each offense for businesses that are not actively suggesting that their people either be vaccinated or tested on a regular basis. This is now going to be the next climbing a ladder. This is now going to be the next working on a rooftop without your straps. The OSHA is now, and so as I say, they're weaponizing that. How do we get on the other side of that? How do we prevent businesses from having to? I don't know. How do we prevent OSHA from being used as a weapon against our small businesses here on Guam?
Well, it goes to the fundamental reasons as to why government should exist. Government should exist just so that it can help the community get through things that the community can't do for itself. It goes to the overreach that this government that we're permitting, we're letting let happen. In our communities without the proper balances, without the proper oversight, the checks and balances from the judicial or from the legislative branch. I agree with Lee Weber. There could be more, and there should be more that can be done. Ray, I've got a number of bills.
Hey, never mind the bills. Shelley sent you a copy of the Bob and Ray resolution, right?
Yeah, but the Bob and Ray resolution was information that goes back in April and May of last year. It's antiquated.
Well, we can update it. I know the guy. I'll ask him. I'll see I'll check with him, and if there's an update required, then I'll be happy to have him do whatever the update is, and take out.
And Ray, even at that, okay, let's say that Frank Boss does decide, okay, Frank Boss is going to go ahead and introduce this resolution. Unfortunately, I work in a body where it takes at least seven other people to get it through. And then I have to go through a bureaucratic system of putting it on the floor.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, but don't cop out on me now. Don't cop out on me now. I hear that. I'm not going to say it's an excuse, but I hear it from you and the other guys. Well, I'm only one of 15. Well, let's find out what the other 14 have to say.
I have I have 3 or 4 other bills that are ready in the hopper, ready to be able to go, ready so that we can have its public hearing and put it on the floor. Can't get it out. I can't get it out.
You can get a resolution going anytime you want to.
Even if you get a resolution, Ray, it's got to go. There's a process, and it's not just being able to take the resolution, put it on the floor. There's a process, unfortunately, that has to be vetted by the majority members of the legislature. It's getting those 7 individuals to be able to agree, to be able to do this, and those individuals who have power who've got the majority power in the legislature to do this. I know what you're saying. I've looked at it. I saw that. I've read the resolution. I've looked at different possible ways of being able to put it on the floor. The fact of the matter is, we need a majority of individuals in that legislature to agree that there's too much government overreach. There's too much that, in as far as oversight, that we somehow let go and permit it to happen, and it's got to stop.
Figure out whatever it's going to be, and if you need the support, you'll get it from around here. But Mana's making a face.
I think that you could actually put it up for a public hearing, though, as a resolution. If the committee chair doesn't agree to hold a public hearing, you could actually hold a public hearing on your own. Because I had a public hearing on a resolution that I introduced that.
Yeah, but now the standing rules now say 120 working days before you can do that.
How do you guys come up with that crap?
I didn't vote.
He didn't vote for the rules.
I was going to say, my God. What allows it? I'm sorry. It just feels like more and more is another branch of it's like an annex of the governor's office. Anyway, 8:37 in the morning for all of the workers, for all of the parents, for all of the people that would like their freedom and just to live in a land of logic and common sense. I implore you, Senator, to continue to give voice to these issues and where you can put some fire on some of the issues because it is getting a little bit too hot in this pot, us frogs are saying. We're beginning to recognize it was cold when we got in it, and we're just under boiling right now.
I think, Greg, one of the things, remember, I came into this legislature as one of those businessmen, as business owners, that have to live, through this. Okay, what now? Okay, what are you going to do with my business? Okay, that frustration. I continue to do that. I still have the business, and I'm still struggling. Okay, I know what it's like not to have a paycheck. I know what it's like having to, be late on bills, to pay bills because the business isn't there anymore because I was told to shut down. I know what it's like when people come into my office and ask me for help to put food on their table. Okay, because they don't have a job or they've got reduced hours.
Do me a favor. I hear where you're headed, and we've got a perfect example. Steve Limtiaco with a special report, tourism business lobby for relief dollars. And on the front page is a guy that I've always referred to. He goes by Senor Uggan, but I've always called him Captain Guam. And he's out there, the dad of Becky the Carabao, and a bunch of others. And he has been unable to do any business here because there's no tourism going on, and there's not a whole lot of certainty that we're ever going to be in a position where we can get some tourism back. 8:38 in the morning. Somebody's got to take care of him and people just like him. And I hope that you and the majority at the legislature can understand the bind that real people are in right now.
There's a resolution that we had submitted on Friday night, and we're going to get the information so we could put out the release today on it.
I'll be looking for it, bro. I'll be looking for it. Hey, listen, I'll talk to you pretty soon. Give Tilly a hug and a kiss.
All right, buddy. You take care.
That's that. 8:39 in the morning. Montecillo Tyrant's
It's almost Christmas tree time.
It's always Christmas tree time.
Does she still have Christmas tree time?
Wouldn't surprise me. 8:39 in the morning. Montecillo Tyrant with that last look at news and headlines coming up.
There's a steak with your name on it at the new Longhorn Steakhouse. Flo's Filet is an exceptionally tender center cut. The New York Strip is a steakhouse classic, and Longhorn's famous outlaw ribeye is well marbled and fire grilled. Longhorn is ready and waiting to pour you a margarita and make you a steak. Longhorn Steakhouse is open daily from 11 to 10 p.m.
Leah Dunca from Security Title here with a little information about trusts. A trust is a legal entity capable of owning property. It can protect property from issues such as lawsuits or divorce and can be used to distribute property and avoid probate. Many trusts start as revocable but become irrevocable when the initial trustees die. Work with your estate planning attorney to see if a trust is a good fit for your family property. Call the professionals at Security Title. We are here to help.
Yep. You want to talk about your tone-deaf administrations. And you go, wait, which one are we talking about, Ray? It's because of the federal one or the local one. Washington, D.C., and a buddy of mine sent me this because this is exactly the kind of upside-down planet that we live on right now. And I've got a meme now that says pretty much what many of us have been saying. This is a quote from Kamala Harris, the current Vice President of the United States of America. The right of women to make decisions about their own bodies is not negotiable. The right of women to make decisions about their own bodies is their decision. It's their body. And then there's a response from a woman named Eva, who says, cool, I've made a decision about my body not to get the jab. Glad that debate is settled. So you got on one side, you got the President of the United States of America actually said the words, this is not about your freedom. now is going to be forcing, bullying people into getting their vaccines. And then on the other side, you've got Kamala Harris now appealing to the pro-abortion side and saying, no, it's your body, your right, your decision. It is amazing how they've managed to, with both sides of their mouth, with both sides of their mouth, managed to contradict each other. It's 8:41 in the morning. Montecito Tyron's got that last look at news and headlines. Havamana, what happened? Do you want to open up the computer? I made her wait too long. Sorry.
Well, the governor has allowed the FY 2022 budget to lapse into law. This setting the budget for Gov Guam at $937 million. Meanwhile, this week, Rev and Tax should have the first of the all-rise payments out, with about 14,000 applications already processed and cleared. These are the folks that showed up for that long line on September 1st. Almost half of those that have been approved have been did elect to go electronic and will be getting their payments quickly. Meanwhile, there was 85 new cases out of 651 people who were tested on Saturday. More results expected today. 159 deaths reported. Meanwhile, the rise in COVID cases has caused travelers from 9 countries, including Guam, to be banned from travel into the Philippines. It started yesterday and will continue all the way up until September 18th. Those are your headlines right here on The Point.
I got you. Montecito Tyron, 8:42 in the morning, 888-825-5888-TALK. Probably have more of the Ray Gibson Show right after these.
JV International Safety Equipment has it all for you. Fall protection, rain gear, traffic signs, speed bumps, custom signs and banners, PPEs, fire extinguishers, plus more. Check them out on Facebook at JV International Safety Equipment Company or visit their website, www.jvisec.com. JV International Safety Equipment, Guam's leader in occupational and environmental safety equipment. Call 688-9524. JV International Safety Equipment, located in Harmon Industrial Park.
The more you buy, the more you save for the whole month of August at Furniture Kathy Style. We just received a huge shipment of area rugs, all 30% off from now until the end of the month. Furnish your home at great discount and take advantage of our amazing deals for this month. If you're not buying furniture from us, you're paying too much. Stop by our showroom or visit our website at FurnitureKathyStyle.com. To shop with us today, contact us at 671-300-9590 or on social media for more information.
I got you. Let me see. Portions of the program brought to you by the guys over at Docomo. You know, there's a Docomo business, right? I mean, a lot of people at Docomo at the house with the phone and the mobile phones and a television and all of that. But they've got a business wing as well for pretty much the same thing. You know, mobile and internet and even TVs in the office. Always a good idea to have a television going in the lunchroom so the ladies can keep up with their soaps, phone plans, and more. The more services that you add, the more you save with Docomo Pacific's Bundles, Business Bundles Plus. Call or visit today at Docomo Pacific. Work better together. 8:44 in the morning. And have you satisfied that pizza urge that you had? Yeah, you can never go wrong with a pizza. And even better when it's a pizza that you have designed. From the crust up. From the crust up, ladies and gentlemen. You determine what kind of crust you want. You figure out what kind of sauce you like and what kind of cheese you're going to put on it and what toppings. Do we want vegetable toppings on this? Do we want meat toppings on this? Why decide? Have one that's all vegetable, have one that's all meat, or mix and match if you like. Do the little, I want half of it going to look like this and the other half look like that. But get them 2x2 over at Pieology, because when you do, you get a free 2-liter bottle of Pepsi when you need some of that. They are open from 11 until 9, and they do all kinds of fundraisers if you need something like that for your school kids or your classes or whatever. Check them out at Pieology. So it's so funny. It's so funny, real just so funny. I got a note from a buddy of mine. He's like, dude, you got to work with this group. They're called Heartfelt, and they're doing this thing where they're going to be asking people to donate their gently used shoes.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
nice,
out to people in the community that need shoes. Walking around shoes, dress shoes, maybe shoes for an interview or whatever. And so I write back. I said, dude, already got her. She's coming in on Monday morning.
Oh, nice.
And Monday morning, we're going to have a conversation about this. In fact, she has either already been on or on the other 2 stations in the buildings, talking to Jed over at Star 101 and that audience, and also talking to Daryl Lizama and his audience over at Boss 104 for exactly the same thing. So I'm like, dude, I already got it. Don't worry. I'm plugged in. But I gotta thank Carlotta Leon Guerrero. She's the one that got me plugged into this.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, she sent me the original flyer, and I was able to reach out from there. So we'll get around to talking with her in a couple of minutes. And the thing that among the things I like most about her is she is the daughter of a guy. I don't even. I know what his first name is. Very rarely have ever used it on the air. But the guy is Mr. Marsh, and Mr. Marsh, for as long as I have been running and associated with running. Now then you go, oh, last 10 years? No. This guy was a big shot in the running community in the 80s when I was running on the Father Duenas track team. He was, with the Guam track and field folks and helping put things together. So I'd known Mr. Marsh for a long time. Sadly passed away a couple of years ago. But when I saw the Marsh in her name, I said, well, I think I might know a couple of people in your family, including her sister, the senator. Which is the genealogy now. Are you getting this? It's just like being with like an older relative and going to mass and saying, that's your cousin.
Titano Marsh.
Exactly.
Marsh Titano.
Exactly. So 8:47, it's the Ray Gibson Show until it's not going to be anymore. And I got a link to a story here. I might be able to put some of this up on the screen here. Is this Yahoo? Let's go with the one from Yahoo. The link on Yahoo that says Lara Logan is accusing the Biden administration of hiding evidence of the COVID-19 vaccine side effects. There's a whole other thing that we've got to explore, don't we? At some point, I'll read you the copy. You can go to the Fox page and listen to it. Lara Logan went off on Fox News Friday night and accused the Biden administration of hiding evidence of side effects allegedly caused by the COVID-19 vaccine. Filling for Tucker Carlson, Logan made the baseless claim while in response to Joe Biden's plan to mandate. Oh, never mind. Don't go to Yahoo. They're already editorializing here.
Yeah.
Baseless. They used my favorite. That's one of my favorite words that they like to use. If you say anything that is critical of the Biden administration, any accusations, they're baseless. When Trump was walking around talking about stolen election, that's baseless. That's baseless. It's one of the words I think some of these lefties will use from time to time to make you feel small and inferior for having a position. Baseless.
Well played.
Yeah. Anyway, so you can look, believe what you want. Who cares what the truth is anymore? Who cares? I get this every once in a while. Frankly, every time Biden says something, or every time Lou says something, I got somebody coming up to me going, but what about? You know, just if you got to adopt Bill Murray and his mantra, it just doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. You can come up with all kinds of what about. You can come at me with logic. You can come at me with figures. You can come at me with science if you want to. You can come at me with just plain old emotion. And the answer is, doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. I'll bet you there were a whole bunch of people on the Zoom meeting that took place in the last Saturday morning. I'll bet there were more than one or two people that came through. And what about? And you know what? Maybe I should have spent more time watching it. Let's see if I can find a link to it so I can see what the commentary was. What did people have to say about that? Well, you've got an opportunity. The governor's in the Zoom with you. Did anybody take advantage of the opportunity to go, hey, what about?
Thomas did.
Thomas did. Thomas
Way
did.
to go, Thomas.
Yeah, well, the point that has been made by among the very shrewd listeners of the point wasn't his question. It wasn't his question about, do you care about the kids? It was the, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Whether or not that was his intention. Whether or not that was his intention to ask if he could be heard, or maybe even punk the governor, prank her in that way. The question was, can you hear me? And I think that's one of our problems here, isn't it? When as I'm kind of out in left field in the conversation, is I'm on the radio 4 hours every day, and I try to give voice to some of the issues, and people that don't necessarily have the platform might want to call in, but for one reason or another cannot. Scared. I work for the governor. Can't. My husband works for the governor. My wife works for the governor. I'm concerned that if I step out of line and mess with the narrative, something bad could happen to me and my job. I know, I got it. Understand. But keep the lines open, because I am listening to you. And you know, it's the old line about emails and messages. I might not read them all on the air, but I try to read them all. So if you've got something and it makes a little bit of sense, I might take some of that and put it on the air. The only reason why I won't look or read on anything that you send me, if it's any more than a couple of hundred words, and if it's any more than about 2 minutes worth of a TikTok video or you know whatever, somebody making a stand or a statement at a conference, if it's any longer than about 5 minutes on that, the answer is no. I need the Cliff Notes version of whatever it is that they're saying. Otherwise, it's going to get lost on me because I just don't have that kind of time to make that kind of investment in what might at the end of it be. You remember we played that video from the lady, and she sounded like she was on track and saying all the right things, and then she started talking about like nanobots and 5G and getting activated when they turn on the 5G transmitters for phones. Yeah, that's when it's all going to happen. And I'm going, there's 3 minutes of my life I'm never going to get back. It sounded like she was right in everybody's lane. And then she went all tinfoil hat on us. And I thought, well, crap, there's an investment that I'm not going to be able to recover. 8:52 in the morning, 888-255-888-TALK is the telephone number around here. So we got that on the table of contents. And right there at the top, and I do got to point out, don't normally make plugs for newspapers, but in this case, you need to pick up a copy of today's Pacific Daily News. On the cover is a picture of Captain Guam, who's Senor Uggan. And he is one of these guys. You think about the hospitality industry, and I know a lot of you guys, oh, yeah, Tsubaki Tower. Right there, man. It's Outriggers and the Hilton Hotel, and that's what hospitality is. Or maybe it's the fine dining that you've got down there. Maybe it's the retail stores that are closing one by one in Tumon. And you're going, well, that's the hospitality industry. But it's not really. It's not really. There's other parts of the hospitality industry that you might not see or recognize. But here's a guy that for years has taken his carabaos out to various places. Chamorro Village. You remember a Wednesday night without him and the carabao?
No, I wrote it.
You wrote it?
I wrote it.
That smell never goes away.
No.
It just does not go away. You're going, why do I need to take a picture? This is going to be with me forever. And they try to keep them clean. But anyway, so the guy takes the carabaos out there all the time. He's down at the Valley of the Latte. In the bay, right across Valley of the Latte is the bay. They got that little shack with all of the
surf shack.
Yeah, the little surf shack there. You know who built that?
No.
It's Captain Guam built that. I'm almost positive. And
wow.
if he didn't, he should take credit for it, because I know that for a long time he was down there volunteering his time, not just for carabao rides, because there were a lot of tourists that went up and down there, but he also kept an eye on the place. He'd keep an eye on the Bay Area, watching out for tourists, making sure crap didn't get stolen from their cars and that guy. Just a nice guy. And as Bertram and Pinko would always say, this is we've got to get the locals bought into and invested into the hospitality industry. Well, here's a guy. There you go. And this is the fella that we need to think about when we start thinking about hospitality industry and who's really being affected by all of this. It's going to be him. Might be a couple of places where I like to go and get drinks and ice and whatever in Tumon. And I try to spread that money around. And it used to be you walk in there and there are 8 or 9 people ready to help you out with your purchases, whether you're a tourist or a local. And it's not like that anymore. Now there's 2 ladies. There's one on the floor and one over at the counter at the register, right? And it used to be they were so busy, multiple registers in this place. So anymore, we just got the one that's open.
Ringing it up.
Yep, exactly. One person behind the counter and one person to make sure that there's always cold ice. That's what we're seeing here. And those are the people that we've got to be concerned about. Government of Guam employees, you got your money coming in. Don't worry. We don't worry about you. They put together a pretend budget. They'll make sure everybody in the government of Guam gets paid. Private sector, not so much. And the people down at the bottom of the private sector are going to be, I think, hurting. And I think they're going to be hurting for a long time. So get a copy of the Pacific Daily News and take a look at it and see what else they've got to say, because I think there's some important words that we need to hear more from these folks. 888-825-5888-TALK. If I used to do Tomorrow Village Night Market on Wednesdays, and I do PIC on Monday and Friday and every day down at the Valley of the Lati. But ever since they shut down, PIC has never gotten back to me. You know, they're losing millions of dollars every month. Yeah. So when it gets to be sunset down in Tumon, which is one of my favorite sunset places, I got a rule about sunsets. We've talked about this. Number one, never turn your back on a Guam sunset. I did that Saturday.
Oh,
Screwed
wow.
up. I turned my back on
dare
it.
you,
How
man.
dare, and it was a nice one.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I turned my back on the sunset on Friday. But the other rule that I have here, and it's kind of metaphysical, but I'll lay it out like this, is sometimes you've got a great sunset in front of you, but always turn around and see what's happening behind you. There are clouds behind you. There is cosmos. There is something behind you. And in this case, it's not so much, look at the pretty sunset over here. Turn around and look to your left. Look to your right down the beach and see how many empty hotel rooms there are in Tumon these days. And I feel bad for these companies, but a lot of them have got giant corporations on the top of them that so we'll keep something going on in the place, but it ain't like it was before. There's where VIP House is. Did you know there was a hotel in that building?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
There was a hotel in there, and they're refurbing the rooms and things like that. But I think they've kind of stopped on that. Every time I've gone in there, it's got you got the headboards over here that they're selling off, and you got this over there that they're selling off. But it doesn't look like there's any hurry to turn that from storage back into the lobby of a functioning hotel in Tumon. Anyway, 8:58 and change. So we got that is going to be interesting. We got a couple of other things. Do I have time to get this out? Let me do this now before it gets to be time for the interview. We are in week 1 of 18 of the National Football League. And back in the day before they all got woke, my old man would be sitting at the house watching what was going on with Carolina Panthers and the Washington Redskins. He would also still call them the Redskins. But anyway, so I got a bunch of finals for you. It was the Buccaneers over the Cowboys today, 31-29. Seattle beats the Colts 28-16. Texans beat the Jaguars 37-21. It was the Eagles over the Falcons. Where's that? 32-6. Boy, you want to talk about your big upends here. We got the Chargers over Washington 20-16. Steelers beat the Bills 23-16. I got the 49ers. Let me see. Hammering the Lions 41-33. Listen to that. Did you hear that score? Oh my God. It's got to be one of the highest scoring games of the day between the two teams. 41-33. 49ers ahead. I got the Bengals beating the Vikings 27-24. Panthers over the Jets 19-14. Cards beats the Titans 38-13. Let me see. It's a big game for the Browns. Have they beaten them yet? The Browns ahead by 2 with 10 minutes left over the Chiefs, Dolphins, and the Patriots. Are you ready for this? 17-16. There's still 8 minutes left in the game. What do you say? It's going to come down to who has the ball last when the bell rings. I got the Broncos beating the Giants 27-7, and that game is almost over for the Giants. Packers and the Saints game. New Orleans just keeps scoring. 38-3 is where they're at. Do I have time for the last couple of them? All right. Bears and Rams later in the day. Ravens and Raiders are going to be playing tomorrow, and that's going to end week 1. We'll get you the scores as they pop up. 9 o'clock in the morning. KUSG, I got you 93.3. This is The Point.
Mandates. I'm Joe Chiro, Fox News. Biden administration officials were on the Sunday talk shows defending the president's sweeping vaccine mandates. Some Republican governors plan legal action for overreach. Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson on NBC's Meet the Press.
This is an unprecedented assumption of federal mandate authority that really disrupts and divides the country. It divides our partnership between the federal government and the states, and it increases the division in terms of vaccination when we should all be together trying to increase the vaccination uptake.
OSHA will tell private employers of companies with more than 100 workers to either require employees to get vaccinated or be tested weekly. And all federal workers and contractors are required to get vaccinated. With cases of COVID-19 rising, largely fueled by the Delta variant, some health experts are sounding the alarm regarding COVID-19 cases among children. Texas Children's Hospital pathologist-in-chief, Dr. James Versalovic.
The reality is that we have seen record numbers of children hospitalized during this Delta surge. We have seen record numbers of cases reported by the day, by the week. We continue to be on a high plateau, and the reality is that we may be headed to another peak or to another valley if we all pull together.
Dr. Vasalovic on CBS's Face the Nation. Tropical storm Nicholas is moving north over the Gulf Coast and could affect coastal areas of Texas, Mexico, and Louisiana.
The Gulf of Mexico is warm. It's going to allow it to strengthen a little bit, maybe not becoming a hurricane, just a strong tropical storm, bringing a lot of moisture with it from the Gulf of Mexico. Maybe a foot of rain, and the Gulf Coast has been very soggy.
Fox meteorologist Adam Klotz. America is listening to Fox News.
Business owners looking to expand, looking for an opportunity to give your business, looking to give your business a chance to succeed. There's a commercial space to rent at the DNA Plaza, Tamuning, next to Cost You Less, home to the famous Tokyo Mart, Ma's Kitchen, Yogurt Land, and others. Great foot traffic, 1,320 square feet available. Call DNA Incorporated for more information, 477-9053 or 9054, or email dnainc.guam@gmail.com.
GovGuam employees and retirees, it's time to choose your health plan. Choose a network of more than 200 providers, including GRMC, GMH, STA, AMC, IHP, and the FHP Health Center. Choose lower copays at preferred in-network providers. Choose fitness partners, including PFC. Choose a payroll deduction as low as $2.04 biweekly. For yourself and your family, choose Take Care. Open enrollment is September 1st through the 25th. For more information, go to takecareasia.com or call 649-0468. Take Care, our island, your health plan.
A major supermarket chain says inflation is higher than predicted.
Attention shoppers, look for your grocery bill to go up if you haven't already. Cincinnati-based Kroger grocery store says prices will rise by 2 to 3% going forward. Company CFO Gary Millerchip telling an earnings call Friday that the company is, quote, passing along higher costs to consumers where it makes sense to do so. Kroger rival Albertsons warned earlier this summer it would have to do the same. And within the Consumer Price Index, the component for food at home, it's already risen 6 months in a row. Shoppers are already dealing with the biggest annual increase in consumer prices since August 2008. Jessica Stone, Fox News.
The legal battle in Florida over the state's ban on mask mandates in schools continues. The Department of Education launching an investigation into whether the policies are potential civil rights violation for students with disabilities. Alberto Carvalho is superintendent of Miami-Dade County Schools.
We're still in a community where the positivity rate is at 8%, where the number of cases per 100,000 residents is elevated at around 330. When back in June, it was only about 76 individuals per 100,000. So the conditions are not what they should be for us to relax the protocols.
Speaking on Face the Nation, a gruesome murder in China discovered by a cab driver.
Police say when 33-year-old Shi Li got in the car, the cabbie became suspicious when he noticed the blood-drenched suitcase and a foul odor. The cabbie stepped out to help Li put the bag in the trunk, but he sensed something was fishy and called the cops. When authorities opened the suitcase, they found the body of a 19-year-old woman. The victim and Lee reportedly once worked at a local bar together. Authorities in southeastern China say the case is under investigation. Chris DeMeo, Fox News.
And I'm Joe Chiro, Fox News.
Our best deal of the year, just for you. Switch and save over $1,000. Switch to GTA today and get up to $250 to cover costs for switching. A $700 discount on a new premium smartphone and $240 in internet bundle discounts. Don't need the $250 to switch? Choose the smartphone accessory bundle. Get a free pair of smart earphones and a phone case and screen protector to guard your new phone. Offer ends September 30th, so visit or call GTA today. Terms and conditions apply. GTA. We start with you.
Top End Pest Control is who you call for all your pest control needs. Got a problem with roaches, ants, spiders, rodents, fleas, ticks, termites? No problem. They do it all. Top End Pest Control is a service-disabled, veteran-owned small business and HubZone certified. Serving Guam since 2012. Call them today for a quote, 487-5657, or email topendpest@gmail.com. Check them out on Facebook at Top End Pest Control and give them a like. Top End Pest Control for all your pest pest control needs.
Raise your glasses for a toast because First Hawaiian Bank now turns your meals into a reason to celebrate. Every dollar you spend on dining purchases, including fast food, earns you up to 3 times United miles. Simply use your First Hawaiian Bank United credit card and start reaping the most rewarding credit card experience on island. Terms and restrictions apply. Don't have a First Hawaiian Bank credit card? Visit any branch or FHB.com to apply today. With First Hawaiian Bank, it all starts with yes.
What?
Oh, yeah.
What is?
That's
I'm
man.
talking here.
I know. I apologize.
Having a conversation.
I'm sorry.
I got Lori Marsh Marble is in the studio here with me this morning. Emphasis on the Marsh name, and we were talking about her old man and how we've known each other. Obviously, member of the running community. I'd see Mr. Marsh all the time, and he's a terrific knowledge of virtually every race in the Guam Running Club calendar.
Oh wow!
And and he would have been there since the very beginning. Now, I'll give you an example. Little known fact: the Guam Marathon is older than the Honolulu Marathon.
Really?
By a year.
Oh,
yes.
wow.
We did on Guam we did ours first. And it was those tidbits that we would get before every race that we were running in the running club. He'd get up, everybody assembled, and the sun's breaking out, and I'm going, hurry up, Marsh, we gotta run in the sunlight, especially with the agate runs, right? We're all down there and the sun's already coming up. But he's gonna tell a story about how the tsunami run got its name, or how the most beautiful run got its name, or the alley-oop and things like that. There are guys now that still will tell the story like Richard, but there's nobody that can tell it quite like Marsh did, because he was there in the beginning of those years. Anyway, you got great lineage in the house. But anyway, we're also talking about Coach Joe Taitano. She used to run for track for JFK.
Oh wow!
Yes. Oh wow!
That's
right.
a dynasty.
Oh my God! Yes, with Coach over at JFK, and which means that you were a motivated individual, weren't you?
I was motivated by my coach.
Yeah.
And like you said, the look on his face.
Oh, if you got the wrong look. So here I am. I'm going to be 60 years old next month, and I'm still doing everything that I can to try to win Coach Joe's affection and respect, or at least it's just nice when he acknowledges that I exist. You get somebody like that with that legacy and that kind of love for the sport. Anyway, so we'll talk more about that and how you can take some shoes that you have got. Maybe they're running shoes. Maybe they're golfing shoes, maybe they're dancing shoes or whatever, and get them to Lori here in just a second. 9:08 portions of the program now being brought to you by APL American President Lines, a global presence with a local home. Also the team over at GuamAutospot.com. I'll give you the World Wide Web so you can go there and get pre-approved. And you go, what do I need to do that for? They're going to approve my credit when I figure out what car I want. You get pre-approved so that you can broaden your horizons. You might be thinking, well, I've only got $120 a month I can spend on a car. Well, they might pre-approve for $150 a month, maybe $200 a pay period on a car loan, and that's why you want to do that. So give them a call over at Guam Auto Spot. Take a test drive in some of the Buicks and the GMCs and the Mitsubishis that they've got waiting for you, and the lawnmower. No, not lawnmower. What is it? Golf carts that they've got waiting for you over at GuamAutospot.com.
Rediscover talk radio here. It's the Ray Gibson Show.
That guy.
Call now. 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
And away we go, 9 after 9. You got the phone number. Don't be shy about calling in here. And let's try not to make Lori nervous. Somebody told her, she was talking to somebody about going on the radio with me. And he's like, oh, the Ray Gibson? You're going on the Ray Gibson show? It's kind of a big deal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
don't worry
I
about
was
it.
like, oh.
Don't worry about it. It's not that. Lori Marsh Marble is her name.
Yes.
And now listeners of this radio station will recognize the name Marsh because you're old man, like I said, Mr. Marsh. And you've got a sister, Kelly.
I do.
She is Kelly.
My big sister.
She's your big sister?
Yes.
So around here, we give her a nickname because she's hyphenated, but nobody wants to hyphenated or parentheses, and nobody could figure out how to verbalize that. So Bob Klitsky in the afternoon always referred to her as Kelly Marsh Taitano. Was so if at any point in the conversation I go, that means I'm trying to sort out here. Lori Marsh Marble, and when I asked you the question about putting the Marsh in there, I said, "Are you hyphenated?" And you had a pretty good reason for wanting to keep the Marsh in your name, right?
Yeah. So
get close to the microphone.
I'm actually Lori Marble, but my father, here on the island, he was a teacher for many years. And like you said, a part of the running club, a big runner. And so putting Marsh into it as that's your maiden name, it recognizes to many people then, hey, she did grow up here on the island.
Yeah.
Just trying to pursue that legacy.
Well, nothing wrong with
my dad.
nailing down your name into some serious roots that you've got here on Guam. So I think it's a fantastic idea. And while I'm thinking about it now, who inherited your old man's shorts collection? He had the craziest running shorts. Always had the craziest running shorts.
I don't know, but I will say my daughters used to always be like, oh, Grandpa. So, just saying.
I think that's great. What a lovely story. 9/11, lovely family. Now, you put together an outfit, and you can see on the shirt it says "Be Heartfelt." What was the genesis of that "Be Heartfelt," and how did that turn into a shoe drive?
So, the idea behind the name "Be Heartfelt" is that you would be heartfelt in everything that you do. And I have been, for the last about 10 to 14 years, I've been serving with nonprofits, not only here, but then back in the United States. And I really enjoyed that. I got to see all the different ins and outs of working with different populations of people who are in need.
Yeah.
And it really kind of took me on that journey to recognize that at some point, I could step into being my own nonprofit and really help bridge the gap for different situations like, outreach team at a school. They can't go out and solicit. They can't go out and talk about what they're seeing. But when I go out with them, I can bring that back and I can say, wow, guys, this is what's really going on.
Here's a need.
And here's a need. And I know that the heart of all of us is to do for one another. And so that's what I'm trying to do, is to bridge that gap, encourage people to see that there's a need and that they can be a part of the solution in small ways and in large ways.
There was once upon a time, the Micronesian community on Guam used to do, for lack of a better word, their version of the Olympics. And they would get the little kids together and they do pulling on a rope, or they do little versions of a track meet. And, how far can you throw a baseball? That kind of thing. It was they get together over at Teedson. And I would see from time to time, I could always tell when it was coming up, because I'd see when I was out on my training runs, or when we were out on our training runs, I'd see more of these kids out there that were running because that was the heat. So they were practicing. They were actually training for the heat in their version of the Olympics that they were going to be doing it. And it broke my heart because for all intents and purposes, we might be talking about little kids who literally only have one pair of shoes. They've got the pair of shoes that they can run in, but it's also the same pair of shoes they've got to wear to school. It's also the same pair of shoes that they got to wear to church, all of that kind of thing. And it broke my heart. And I always tried to follow and to see where they were going to be going so that I could say, hey, listen, I know some people that are runners that have kids that are running, and maybe they can give you some shoes to help you out with all of this stuff. But I'd always lose track of because they're faster than me, old guy. And so these kids, even in their street shoes, they were still faster than I was. But I'd always hoped that there would be something like this that came along. And from time to time, my friend Manny Hechinova from the Guam Running Club would ask people for their shoes. They'd go steam clean them and then give them to folks that needed a clean, gently used pair of running shoes. And if you know about runners, there's runners who will spend $150 for a pair of shoes, run on them 3 or 4 times, go, I don't like these shoes, put them in the closet, never see them again, and go buy another 18 pairs of something else. Some of you are listening listening going, no way. And the answer is, yes way. There are runners that their shoe racks look like Malacanang. How many times do you wear that? And they don't tell you how many times. They'll give it to you in miles. Oh, I've only got 100 miles on those shoes. I only got 120 miles on those shoes. And so if you are one of those people, and I'm trying not to make this too much about running, because we're talking about people that need shoes of all kinds, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
And so it really is just a closed-toed shoe.
Mm-hmm.
The school
But how
uniform.
come you're asking for a closed-toe shoe, but on the commercial, it's a pair of Zoris here?
Yes. Okay. So I have, as I'm learning, I was trying to communicate that that's what they wear.
Uh-huh.
And that does not allow them to go to school. That the actual public school has a dress code, and a flip-flop is not considered safe to be. And I think we all grew up with wearing our flip-flops around everywhere. We've broken a few, hurt ourselves.
You're catching me on the air. And this is the one time of day that I wear long pants and socks and shoes. As soon as I get home, I will put on a pair of shorts, running or otherwise, and either be barefoot or Zoris.
Yes,
that's me. That's what I love about Guam.
Yes. But at the end of the day, we all, I think, have had an experience where a pair of our Zoris have broken.
Mm-hmm.
And that's part of what I was trying to communicate in the picture. But then I started to hear that maybe I'll receive a lot of Zoris as donations. And I was like, oh, actually, in the fine print, I did post that it's closed-toed shoes. And that is my goal. So I'm learning as I'm going out there and asking.
Well, it's an attractive foot. I mean, if anything is a good-looking foot with, I'm not a podiatrist or anything like that. But I certainly appreciate somebody out there wearing the Presu Zoris. Not what they're looking for. So basically, we'll go in with the pitch. If you've got a pair of shoes at the house, or several pairs of shoes, closed toe, is there a particular group that you're targeting here? You were talking about kids and schools.
So, I predominantly work with the teams that are in elementary to middle school, but I think all of us know that kids run such a variety of sizes.
Oh, Real Joe's got, what's the size of your kid's foot? Was he 12 or 13 now?
Yeah.
Kid's 2 years old, and he's got these massive feet. It's amazing. He's like paddles.
Right. So what I try and say is there's no size that's too small or too big, because every child's different.
Okay.
And also, my heart is really, if we have that surplus, which, I'm praying for, is that, it's not even just going out and saying, here's your shoes, this is your size, but being able to say, here are 3 pairs of shoes, pick which one you like.
Oh.
And to me, that really is showing them that we're caring about them having an option, because a lot of times they haven't had options. And if they're even fortunate to get something, it's like, here, this is what's given to you. And so if there's an opportunity to say, I have 3 pairs in front of you, which one do you like? I feel like that's really the win. And it reminds that child that they're being seen, but that we really care about them also, and we care about the situation that they're in.
Now, okay, this it'll come off like a dumb question, or in the very least, kind of a juvenile question. But what about socks? Because if you put kids on Guam in shoes with no socks, then there will be stinky shoes and stinky feet. Are we asking for gently used socks in this push as well?
I had not. I would probably say new socks. And earlier this year in May, I actually went out and passed out about 100 hygiene kits and had a pack of underwear and socks in there. I really wanted to just focus on one win starting out.
Can do.
But definitely, if someone wants to throw a pack of nice socks in there, I mean, the kids would absolutely appreciate it.
And now, when we talk about throwing them in, where exactly are we throwing these in right now? I think we've got a limited number of mayor's offices that have got the drop box locations.
Yes. So we have Jigo, Manila. And we have
the beautiful
Inalahan.
village of Inalahan.
Yes, and Adelupe Point.
If you just called it Inalahan, would you have gotten in trouble with your sister? Probably, right?
I plead the fifth.
She's big on pronunciation.
She is big on pronunciation, and she's definitely teaching me. But yes, so I did think about that. So it was a good pickup.
Inalahan, Mangilao, and Zigo are the locations so far, but you're working with some other mayors, right?
Yeah, and Adelude Point, and then UOG. As of today, 2 bins will be at UOG. And I also understand that there's a contact person at most of the schools that are going to be taking in shoes as well.
Okay.
You know, without there being school in person, the teachers still are aware that that's an opportunity for them to donate.
There's a deadline on this, unfortunately. You're only going to have the bins out, and you want to get distribution as quickly as possible.
Yes, so it's September 19th. And the reason why I try and do that is just because we all have great intention and we get excited about it.
Oh, I absolutely do. I was looking at my shoe closet this morning, and left.
then we get busy.
I left the house in a hurry, so I don't have anything for you.
Then we get busy, and then we forget, and then we are bummed because we missed, that deadline. And so, to me, if we can make it a short, quick turnaround, it gives people enough time to go out and dig through their closets, but not too long for them to put it in the back of the car and then forget completely about it.
Yes. As I would have done myself. So September the 19th, and so you've got the locations where you can drop them off. For information, how can you be reached? I mean, you prefer email? Do you like a WhatsApp, or what's the best way to get a hold of Lori?
I prefer email just because that way it doesn't get lost in the mix, and I can make sure that I've reached out to everyone. And so it's contactbheartfelt@gmail.com.
Easy.
And I also have my website, which is beheartfelt.com. And there you can see some of the work that I've done in the past, and then also the snack pack program that I'm about to launch. And that's going to be feeding kids on the weekends.
We call that a tease in the radio business. Yes.
Okay.
What do you mean? We're about to launch a snack pack program.
Yeah, so that to me...
There are people listening going, no, I got the shoes thing. Now, what about this? This sounds interesting.
Yeah, so I'm really excited about it. As I've come back, to the island a couple of times a year, and I continue to work with the different nonprofits, I'm always asking, what is the biggest need you see? Because they're the ones who best know. And so one of the things I continued to hear was feeding kids on the weekend. Because, my heart isn't to reduplicate something that's already successfully
Kids are eating every day in the school when they're in session.
Right. And so, I've been kind of following that. And I was like, oh, there isn't a weekend program here. I was like, back home in Kansas and throughout the United States, nonprofits, they have these and they're successful. They're really great programs that they a lot of times call them like snack packs or snack bags. And what it is that volunteers, they donate the food, businesses donate the food, and then like on a Wednesday or Thursday, people come in and they pack up all the snack bags, and then they go to the school, and then the social worker or one of the people on the team, the school counselor, whatever children have been recognized that probably will not have food on the weekend, that vulnerable population, the kids will then know to stop in. They slip that food in their backpack.
So there's no stigma attached?
Yes. And then they go home and they have a source of food. And so in my county alone, 400 children are fed from one nonprofit. And that's just in one little area. And so I'm starting off with 10 because I am a commitment person. If I say it, I'm going to do it.
Yep.
It's going to happen. And so I didn't want to overstep and say 400 kids, but I said 10. And then my heart is to see what it can grow into, to let the community really take hold of this and grow it.
Who you already talked to about that? Have you reached out to wholesalers and retailers?
I have not.
Yeah.
As I got here, I really started to work on the shoe donation program. I did go to Home Depot.
Mm-hmm.
They did donate the shelves and the bins to me. So I did go there. But that's going to be what I'm going to be spending my next week or two here doing, and just really hitting the pavement and saying, you know, the snack pack program is a program that would go on the entire year. And, you know, we're starting with with Benavente Middle School with 10 kids, but, you know, the need is at each school. And I would love to see if we get a surplus, then we grow it to the next school. And then if we get a larger surplus, then we grow it to the next one. And, you know, I've let the teams know, the social workers and their teams, like, no, let's just get this going and see what the community can really. I am really excited. I think the community is really going to show up and really grow this. And in a couple of years, we're going to be like, wow.
Yeah, would not surprise me at all. Her name is Lori Marsh Marble, and I'm assuming that Mr. Marble here is of independent means, so that you don't necessarily have to, because it doesn't sound like any of this pays at all.
It does not. Well, I do have...
So Mr. Marble must have some Rockefeller blood in there, maybe?
No, actually. And the really cool thing is that he's the heart behind the snack pack program. So I met him when I was 20 here on the island. We've been married for 30 years. He's a pretty private person. I had a tough childhood growing up here, but my husband even more so. So I was homeless as a child for about a year and a half. But my husband grew up on the streets in San Francisco. And he was one of those children who didn't have food. And so he doesn't really talk about it much. That's okay.
But this resonates with him.
It does. And I always say that he's my silent partner, because I couldn't do anything that I do without him. He's taken great care of me for 30 years. And I do have a small little T-shirt business when I'm back home on Etsy. And I use that to pay for my plane ticket. I give 100% of the net profit to my mission work. But again, it's because my husband provides for me.
Which was the point that I was trying to get to here. So you've got your own thing going, but there's a whole lot of support, financial and otherwise, from Mr. Marbles, and I think that's vital. 9:28. Last thing before I let you run here, and you've used the word mission, and in a prior pre interview question, you used the word prayer in there as well. You seem to me a pretty spiritual person. I thought your old man was pretty spiritual as well. Is there a church that you're associated with, or any kind of religious group that you get together with?
Yes. So when I'm here on island, I go to Calvary Baptist Church. Back home, I go to a church called Life Church. And I really found that Calvary here has become like my new family. And that is going to be where the food is going to be stored.
Is that down in Essen?
No, it's actually right up here.
You know what? I always confuse, because there's down over by the old Harley Davidson is a Calvary, and then there's the other one up in Upper Tumont. So you're with the Upper Tumont one.
Yes, it's the Upper Tumont. Okay. And they have a classroom that they are letting me have free use. It's beautiful, and I put my shelves and bins in there. That's where the food's going to be, where people would drop off donations, and where they would volunteer to pack the snack packs. And so they have been very generous, and so that's definitely a part of who I am and what I'm about. I say that my mission of my nonprofit is actually Jeremiah 29:11, which is that every child would know that they're loved, that they are valuable, and that they were created for a purpose. And that's important to me, because when I was a kid growing up, I didn't know that being homeless would turn out to have a purpose. That now here I am at 51, and I am going out and telling children that are experiencing similar situations that it doesn't define them. That
it's not the end.
It isn't the end, and that they can make different choices in their life that can help them to have a different projection. I look at my husband as that example, and then I look at the life that I have. blessed beyond. I have 4 kids. I have 3 little grandbabies. Man, I think I have a great life. And
sounds good to me.
Yeah. So to me, I want to encourage each one of them that it is not defined in their situation, that it doesn't define them. And I know that can easily feel as a heavy weight.
Well, truth of the matter is that people are in all kinds of different circumstances, and the concern has always been that should not define you, whether it's an economic situation, whether it's a spiritual situation, or a relationship situation. You got to you figure it out. You've got choices. I just need to figure out how to exploit those. I've gotten word about this program, the Shoe Drive. Again, you've got Gently Love Shoes. Drop them off in Alahan and Manila and Jigo, and also the University of Guam. Or find Lori. But I first got word of this from Carlotta Leon Guerrero. And big smile on her face. Did you see that?
I had lunch with her. She's amazing.
Well, so I kind of thought this was her program. So how did you hook up with her? Because that is around here kind of an indispensable relationship. Once you've got access to her ear and her efforts, you generally guaranteed success.
Yeah, so I volunteered quite a few times with Island Girl Power, and so I knew that was Carlotta's, and my sister also has done some work with her.
Well, with Carlotta and Juanita for sure. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And Ty's, even my brother-in-law, has even cooked food for the girls at Island Girl Power, and so. I got to have lunch with her, and wow, what a dynamic woman. She just, it blew my mind, actually. She just encouraged me to reach for the stars. And, anytime I was hesitant or a little nervous or just stepping out, and she just kept saying, Lori, you're doing this for children who are experiencing homelessness. Like, let it go.
Yeah.
Just keep going.
We'll figure out how to
keep going.
And so I get the message from Carlotta on Friday. It's Monday morning. Lori's on the radio with me talking about this. I wish you it's just incredible success. You're welcome to the radio station anytime you want to.
Oh my goodness!
And
you
get to hang out with Jed and Daryl on the other 2 stations. When it comes to be snack pack time, we'll get all of that stuff on the air. It's 9:33 in the morning. Ray Gibson Show. And again, if you want to reach out to her, hit her on the website beheartfelt.com.
Yes.
On the World Wide Web, all the links and all the other contact information. In the meantime, if you're at the house location right now, go and take a look in your closet, in the kids' closet, in the grandkids' closet, and start putting together a bag. We want these guys to be overwhelmed with the number of shoes that we can take to the homeless kids and give them that choice and give them that sense that somebody out here cares.
Yes, thank you.
Anytime. Ray Gibson Show continues, probably on the other side of these messages.
As we get back to business, Docomo Pacific is ready to keep you connected. Introducing Business Bundles Plus. Build a customized bundle with the right internet, mobile, TV, and phone plan for your business. Pay for exactly what you need and nothing you don't. And the more services you add, the more you save. Plus, you can rely on Docomo Pacific's fastest, most reliable network and 24/7 customer support. So build your own bundle and save today with Business Bundles Plus. Call 671-688-2677. Docomo Pacific Business. Work better together.
Business owners looking to expand, looking for an opportunity to give your business a chance to succeed. There's a commercial space for rent at the DNA building in Agutya. This is a 10-story building with 24-hour security guards, maintenance, and custodial staff. A fitness center, close proximity to the Superior Court of Guam, Agutya Post Office, and several banks. Call DNA Incorporated for more information. Telephone 477-9053 or 9054 or email dnainc.guam@gmail.com.
Leah Dunca from Security Title here with a little information about trusts. A trust is a legal entity capable of owning property. It can protect property from issues such as lawsuits or divorce and can be used to distribute property and avoid probate. Many trusts start as revocable but become irrevocable when the initial trustees die. Work with your estate planning attorney to see if a trust is a good fit for your family property. Call the professionals at Security Title. We are here to help.
9:35 in the morning. Portions of the program brought to you by the team over at Subway, as in Eat Fresh. And they want you to know that they've freshened things up. Bye, Lori. I'll see you later. they want you to know, and they've freshened things up over at the Subway as well. Here's what's new: extra crispy bacon, and a new way to enjoy avocados, which is smashed. And what you want to do is you want to take the avocado and you smash the avocado, and you go, why would you want to smash the avocado? So it doesn't slip out. You take a bite of a sandwich that got an avocado in it, and the avocado always kind of zooms out. So they smash it and layer it on like it's butter, and it makes it that much better for you. You get a lot of avocado in every bite. Plus, multigrain wheat or artisan Italian white bread. And as I've said many times, I'm a big 9-grain honey oat guy. And they said, well, we don't sell that anymore. I said, well, what do we have the multigrain wheat. I said, but does it have 9 grains? And the guy says, oh, there's more than 9 grains in there. Try it and see. And it's now my new favorite. Stop into your nearest Subway and refresh your favorite sub today. I just got this from former Governor Carl T.C. Gutierrez, keeping an eye on some news. This is from newsbreakapp.com. North Korea has test fires a long-range cruise missile. See if I can open up the story and read it to you. North Korea carried out successful long-range cruise missile tests over the weekend, according to their state media, and amid a protracted standoff. No, don't open it in the app. Hold on. Oh, don't you hate it when that happens? Yeah. Was thinking about that yesterday as I was watching the planes fly overhead. Going, I'm wondering, because there was another story that somebody sent me from the Washington Examiner. China threatening to send warships. And at least one other article that I'd read over the weekend that was making it pretty clear that the Chinese don't seem to be afraid of us anymore, and in fact have taken a far stronger position about their relationship with the United States in this part of the world, in the disputed islands. There's a set of islands, I want to say they're in the Spratlys, called the Mischief Islands. And that could be among the places where an excuse is going to be made to take things to the next level. And what would the next level be? They said that they would be willing to deliver to America's doorstep. And near as I can tell, from having lived out in this part of the world all of my life, this is America and Asia. This is the American doorstep. Everybody says, well, don't have to worry because they're not going to be able to hit Honolulu with anything of any kind of power and size. Oh, no, they don't have to hit Honolulu. If they want to strike America, they only need to send a rocket from there to here, guys. So I worry about them. I worry about the North Koreans. I worry about the Taiwanese. Taiwanese especially. 888-8255-888-TALK is the telephone number. It's 9:38. We'll get more of those stories that are floating around. And what do we do about it? I don't know. I was fantasizing about, well, it wasn't a fantasy. Yeah. Hey, like that. But if there had to be somebody underneath a nuke when it was sent over, I mean, we're all going to get it. It just depends on where you are, proximity. Are you going to die in the first 100th of a second, or will you die 2 seconds later, or will it be 2 months after, whatever? So, but if you had to send over a nuke, and who would you like underneath it, like that second, that bright flash moment? There's got to be 1 or 2 people, right? Like an X or something like that?
No, just Joe. Just Joe. Mouth breathing.
Mouth breather, Joe? Yeah. Okay. I understand what you're saying. Anyway, 9:39 in the morning, 888-8255. Dr. Ron McNinch on the telephone line. Hey, Doc, how you doing? Are you ready for Armageddon?
Hey, happy day, Ray. Happy day, Guam.
And I don't want to miss a thing. I watched that over the weekend. I love you, Harry Stamper. You don't know how to fail. God, what a great show. I watched Porky's, too.
Over the weekend?
Well, I watched Porky's.
Oh, okay, got it. Yeah, Kim Cattrall from Sex and the City. That was a movie she was in way back in the day.
There maybe only a couple of movies that I remember her in at all. There's Porky's. There was the mannequin movie with the guy, and I think my favorite Kim Cattrall movie of all time, which is Big Trouble in Little China. Kurt Russell.
Oh yeah,
her.
great movie. Great movie.
China is here, Jack.
Yeah. You know, I loved Big Trouble in Little China. I thought it was really good. Kim Cattrall was one of the last contract actresses for that particular studio, and we're just a really great actress.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I don't know. I thought that she was too much for Sex in the City, and frankly, I considered her one of the more attractive women. I didn't really care for anybody else that was in that show, and I couldn't understand the fascination to it. And there were times where it would be Sunday night. Oh my God, Sunday night, and all of the women in the family would get together in the living room after we'd eaten dinner and everything, and start watching Sex in the City. That was the big deal. And I'd sit there and I would just I'd have to hold my remarks in, because I don't know if you could imagine either of my exes, my sisters, and my mother in the same room, all of them at once telling me to shut the hell up. If you're going to be here watching Sex in the City with us, you're not allowed to speak and breathe quieter.
Yeah, I think each of the women had their own different behavioral set and their own different personality type.
Yeah.
And so it's like the Baskin Robbins for women in terms of, being able to identify with individual characters.
Well, so we could go on this all day long, and the same thing I think can be said of Grey's Anatomy, another show that I'm not allowed to talk in. 9:42 in the morning. Anyway, so I got Dr. Ron McNitch on the line. How was your weekend? What'd you end up doing? Anything fun?
Oh, I just had work all weekend, kind of boring.
Did you reach any interesting conclusions on any of the big stories that we're talking about these days? And among them is the resonance between the two, if you will, the vaccine mandates now, as pronounced by President Dementia. And the vaccine mandates that we've got before employees of the government and now the private sector here on Guam. Any thoughts on those?
Yeah, I said this probably in April of last year. We need what I call the bifurcation policy, and that is there are people that are really in the critical zone who need to really watch their behavior and who need to be very, very, very careful, and they need to be vaccinated. And in fact, I encourage everybody who can be vaccinated to get vaccinated. But there's that group of people that are in the danger zone, and then there's a whole bunch of other people. The real issue is little kids and even young adults interacting with that group that are in the really fragile health zone and making them sick. I think that's what our key dilemma is.
But they're vaccinated. You just said you're going to vaccinate them. I mean, there has got to be at some point, and I don't know, we'll get another doctor on this eventually, but I mean, there's got to come a point where between the vaccines and the boosters or whatever, we ought to be reasonably sure that an older person or somebody with a comorbidity won't be such a target for COVID-19. When but we can't keep telling ourselves this lie about how everybody's going to get vaccinated, and that's going to be the panacea of our problems.
Well, I think that I call it the Doppler effect. Even people who are vaccinated can still get it later on, and so right now we're hitting that 6 to 8 month wear-off phase where the vaccine's less effective, and we're waiting for the boosters. I think once the boosters kick in and this group gets the boosters, the spike that we're having right now will probably drop off a bit. But also, one other thing I'll let everybody know, last Monday, I spent like 3 days in the hospital. It was absolute chaos in terms of systems capacity at the hospital I was in. I was in the hallway for like almost a whole day. There was There were really, really sick people, not necessarily with COVID, in the various side rooms waiting to be admitted because the beds were at capacity. The issue for COVID for Guam is very different for the issue of COVID for the rest of the United States, because we have an absolute capacity issue. We have nothing other than what we have here. And so once our beds are full, once our hospitals are full, I mean, we're really, really struggling at that point.
But wait. No. Wait, Doc, I appreciate that concern. But I thought we had an incredible amount of flex built into it, and the idea that when the Navy, remember last year, they out at NCS, they actually put together one of these little MASH hospitals. And they had air conditioning in there, and they had all of the power, self-contained water, all of these kinds of things, and positive pressure houses, whatever. I mean, they came out with an actual hospital out there, and we didn't get a whole lot of COVID-19 at the time, and they disassembled it. And I thought it was still around. I thought maybe the governor just needs to call the new admiral and say, hey, can you put that thing back together? Because we sure could use it right now.
I'm not sure what plans they have in the works or what their potential capacity is, but I can talk in terms of actual capacity. I mean, what I saw last week is we're at our limit. That's an actual point. That's not.
No, I know, but there's a limit on the limit. I mean, we know that there are facilities, and they put together the inflatables over at Guam Memorial Hospital, and that took care of it. I don't know if we're absolutely totally full of at GRMC. I've not talked to my medical guys there, and obviously, if there's a screaming demand, do we not have access to some of the capabilities over at Navy Hospital? If we don't, why don't we?
Yeah, it could have been a site-specific thing to the site that I was at, too, and that's a reasonable point. But in terms of what our dilemma is that we have a fragile system compared to the rest of the United States. Even if we have these added temporary types of things that we can turn to. And by the way, there's one other thing I want to tell you that's very, very important.
What's that?
I've been in the hospital many times over the years, in the emergency room many times over the years. They always let relatives in with the person to help the person, and elders, Monamco, have someone there with them, whatever. That's not the case today. Because of COVID, when a person goes to the emergency room or they get admitted and they're back there without anyone else other than pretty much themselves. Once they get into that zone, and that's very unfortunate. Something that I've never seen before, and I know that put particularly our Monamco under a lot of stress.
Oh yeah,
because they didn't have anyone there to help them at all, and the nursing staff and medical support staff are overstressed. There's a lot more factors than simply beds. There's the people, human resource support side that gets overly stressed here.
I can't disagree with that, but again, we're 18 months into this, and you're talking about the same issues that plague Guam Memorial Hospital. In fact, our entire healthcare system this time last year, and clearly we haven't learned anything.
But then again, I mean, we had no idea it would be this persistent, Ray. I think that's another element of it. That is, everyone thought, probably by this last summer it would be over.
But I don't know. I mean, we've been watching the narrative, and we were able to see Delta coming from back when we called it the Indian variant. So, so is this one of those deals where we've been convincing ourselves that everything is going to be okay? Is this the August letter to CDC? You remember the letter that the governor sent out to the CDC in August of last year, just before all hell broke loose in the first wave? And it was, don't worry about us. We got all the doctors we need. Our hospital is okay. We can handle any surge. Governor said that in August of last year. You can still find that article and that letter to the CDC in the Guam Daily Post in their archives. Is this just us continuing to tell ourselves that everything is going to be okay until the caca actually hits the fan?
Well, I think that this was just an unanticipated emergent factor that popped up in general, in my view.
Well, I don't. But again, I don't understand. I mean, you're a policy guy. Wouldn't you? And haven't we been taught now to expect the worst every time? I mean, I get it. I thought we were. I thought we had COVID-19 in the rearview mirror as well. And to a degree, I still think that we do. I think our big problem right now is our inability to treat this logically and say, look, people are going to get sick, and we need to, especially the little kids, let them get sick. The symptoms are fairly mild, I'm told, among the kids, and that's how we're going to build up the herd immunity. Plus the folks that have already been infected, that probably aren't going to get it again, and as Dr. Macris will always point out, have got a certain amount of a capacity to be able to withstand it if they do get sick again. I'm just saying, this sounds to me like Biden saying we anticipated every contingency in Afghanistan except the one that actually happened. So how can we say that we've anticipated every contingency?
Everybody knows this. I personally do not like the Biden administration. I don't like the way they're doing things at all, and I think that they've made some very, very poor choices. And but also I think that in general, trying to make a comparison between the two is a little bit tough. For me, I had a good friend. His son and grandson went to a big event a couple of weeks ago. He was fully vaccinated. They came back. Because his vaccination now is wearing off, he ends up getting COVID, and he's very, very ill. I mean, he's had lots of illnesses, and he was very careful. He did everything right. He did everything he was supposed to do all along the way. But these, hidden factors, I mean, who would have told us a year ago, well, you can get the vaccine, but after a number of months, it's not going to be as effective as we used to. It's a constant process of re-education we have to go through and adjusting our behavior, adjusting our traditions, because everybody wants to see their grandkids, everybody wants to see their grandparents. Young people constantly come into and interact with older, sicker people. We're going to have to figure out a strategy that works out all of those details specifically for the Guam case.
Well, let's look and see what they're doing in other places. I mean, not because I need to end this call on a high note, and the high note is that people in Denmark now, after 548 days, it says, with restrictions to limit the spread of COVID-19, Denmark's high vaccination rate has enabled the Scandinavian country to become one of the first European Union nations to lift all domestic restrictions. The return to normality, they say, has been gradual, but as of Friday, the digital pass, a proof of having been vaccinated, is no longer required when entering nightclubs, making it the last virus safeguard to fall. More than 80%
Wow.
of people above the age of 12 has had the 2 shots, and I want to say that we are dangerously close to that number here on Guam. I gotta ask somebody, but it seems to me that the significant majority of the people there have had the shot, and they are no longer afraid of it, and they're just going to do as Singapore has, just go along with it. And I wonder when we'll have that conversation here. 9:55, Ron. I got to let you go. I'll talk to you later.
Hey. Thanks, Ray.
All right, buddy. 888-8255. Tina's on the line. I'll get to her. I got a cute meme I found on Facebook. I was doing a little bit of surfing while the doctor was talking, and it's a picture of Joe Biden saying, "Put trust and faith in our government." And then there's a picture of Donald Trump underneath. Says, "In America, we don't worship government. We worship God." I don't know if either of these guys said it, but yeah, that's getting me right here. Tina, how about you?
What about me?
I don't know, baby.
Don't ask me about the government.
Oh, you're in the same mood about the government as I am, huh?
Okay, I had the virus.
Okay. How are you and how are you feeling now?
I'm okay. I have a family of 4, so I have my daughter was 9 and my son was 14 when he had it. This was just last year.
Okay.
My husband had it the worst. And, so we had it last year in October. Now, my husband and I work for the government, and we're not getting the vaccine. So nobody's answering my questions. Please forgive me. I did not know what radio station you were on.
You found me?
And I found you because a lot of people are like, you got to listen to Ray Gibson and stuff like that. So I found you. They told me, and I found you because no one's answering my questions. We didn't have a vaccine given to us. We had the virus. We survived the virus. And I give props to everybody who survived this virus because it was hard to deal with. And, now I feel like now we're being outcasted because we don't want the vaccine. I mean, I'm not going to get a vaccine to please the society and go eat at restaurants. No, I'm not going to do that.
Me and you can eat in the parking lot. I'll be right there with you.
I'll give
you my WhatsApp number, and then I'll let you and your husband know where we can meet up, and the kids can play in the water while you and I are having barbecue and drinking beer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm all for that. I don't need to get this vaccine for society.
Right.
But the thing is that now
you need it for your job.
My husband works, like I said, we work for the government. And just because I think people are they need to be more educated. Just because you got the vaccine doesn't mean that you're untouchable. So my husband goes to work this morning, and he has a partner, and the partner's mom just was in the hospital this morning, and she's been sick for a week, and she tested positive. So my husband's partner decides, I'm vaccinated. I can go to work. So what happens now? So now my husband's supervisor tells him, just go back out to work. We'll send him home. It's like, no, wait.
Why?
Why aren't you sending my husband to go get tested? Why aren't you sending my husband home to isolate himself when he was with somebody who's positive? So that's what I mean. Don't talk to me about it.
No. Well, I'll tell you how I feel, and whether it's medicinally relevant or not. I'm with you. I think that because you have already had COVID-19, and the kids and the husband and everybody's had it, then it seems to me that you already have the natural antibodies, and throwing that down is throwing the vaccine on top of that, I don't think is required. I think what there ought to be here is if we're going to have status, then, hi, my name is Ray. I've never had COVID-19, never been tested for it, but near as I can tell, I probably never had COVID-19, so I would fall in the line of the unvaccinated. Then there are vaccinated people, like everybody in my family is vaccinated. I think I'm the only one that's not. So we've got them. They're vaccinated. Whether or not they've had COVID-19, I don't know. I don't think they have, but they're vaccinated now. But what about people like you that have been vaccinated, or not vaccinated, but you should have now immunity from COVID-19 because you already had it. I think there needs to be another distinction. I think there needs to be another level, especially if you're a government of Guam employee and you're being threatened with your job now if you don't get vaccinated. Lady, I don't think you need to get vaccinated. You've already been through the worst of it, just like the governor and lieutenant governor.
Exactly. So why? That's my thing. Ray, for the past 2 weeks, I have a really good friend. His family, him and his son are vaccinated. 2 of his daughters are not vaccinated. Okay, they all got the virus at the same time, and they're all
even the vaccinated ones.
Even the vaccinated ones got it. So he's vaccinated, and his 2 daughters are not vaccinated. But guess what happened? Because we were both talking the whole time, and they're comparing symptoms. They all had the same symptoms. The vaccinated person did not get less symptoms. The vaccinated person got the same symptoms the unvaccinated person had.
Scary, isn't it? Where you've got everybody that's saying, you've got to get the vaccine, you got to get the vaccine. It's going to protect you. It's going to protect your family. It's going to protect our community. And then you hear stories like that where people are vaccinated and they're still getting sick, and they're getting sick with the same symptoms as somebody that's unvaccinated. It's a pain in the ass, an illogical conversation, unfortunately, Tina. I will tell you what. Let's get together around this time again tomorrow, and I will communicate with. And in fact, I'd be happy to let you. Converse with as far as I'm concerned, my medical correspondent for the program. His name is Dr. George Macris.
Okay.
And he will be able to give you an answer. I wouldn't expect anything from public health or the governor's office on this. But
no, I even
if anything,
tried calling the governor's office.
oh yeah, forget about that. If anything, you'll feel better having heard from somebody who's actually treating COVID-19 patients in Florida in the free zone. Okay.
Yes, thank you so much, Ray.
Not a problem, Tina. Glad you found me. Glad you found me. I'm glad that
I found you too.
Glad you and the family are okay now. Talk to you pretty soon. It's just after 10 o'clock in the morning. Radio stations KUSG getting you 93.3. This is The Point.
Both men on ABC's This Week. The House is in the process of approving parts of the reconciliation bill. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
California Governor Gavin Newsom could be facing the end of his term after Tuesday's recall election.
Newsom taking full advantage of these last couple days to try and pull off a defeat in the recall. President Biden will be stumping for him in Long Beach tomorrow. The president among top Democrats to campaign for Newsom, including VP Kamala Harris and Senator Elizabeth Warren. But GOP frontrunner Larry Elder says the recall is not about political affiliation, but rather a referendum on change with hot-button issues, especially Newsom's handling of the pandemic that decimated small businesses. But Newsom says a vote for Elder would be a vote for Trump policies and would actually set back pandemic progress.
Fox's Marianne Rafferty in Los Angeles. Tropical storm Nicholas expected to strengthen as it moves toward the Gulf Coast. Forecasters say it could drop heavy rain and cause flooding early this week in coastal areas of Texas, Mexico, and Louisiana. Novak Djokovic's bid for the first calendar year Grand Slam in men's tennis since 1969 ended one victory short with a 6-4, 6-4, 6-4 loss to Dano Medvedev in the U.S. Open final